Under the golden sunset dyeing the massive school, the after-school atmosphere was as bustling as a market, laughter and farewells echoing throughout the schoolyard, creating a lively and bustling picture. Then a boy with a cold yet captivating face leaned against the window, his eyes quietly watching the bustling crowd. Suddenly, a clamor of chatter from behind made him turn his head, slightly curious to listen, and a guy among the students was perched on a desk with his feet on a chair, boasting arrogantly, "Ha ha ha. I've changed my class to a summoner and even signed contracts with 3 summons, so join my team. Tomorrow is the university entrance exam. I'll lead you all to soar high." A girl in the group frowned upon hearing those boasts, her eyes showing unconcealed contempt. "Hey!" She narrowed her eyes, her voice sharp. "Step aside. I am a noble mage. Do I need you to lead me? How about you join my team as a subordinate instead?" The other guy, as if his pride was stung, jumped up, his face beet red, and yelled loudly, "So what if you're a mage? Are you that great? How about you and I have a match?" The girl didn't flinch at all, lifting her chin defiantly. "Sure, let's go to the schoolyard. There's not enough room to fight here." The other guy nodded sharply, agreeing instantly. Van Thon watched for a moment, his eyes gradually filling with boredom. It has been 3 years since he transmigrated to this strange world. Long enough to understand all its rules. 75 years ago, a world-shaking event occurred when the game world and reality merged, turning human life upside down. Just like in a game, levels, classes, and equipment became the measure of a person's worth. Leveling up not only strengthened the body, but also granted powerful skills. This allowed people to possess extraordinary combat power. The reason for this change was that the world was no longer peaceful. Monsters from the game poured into reality, and demons ran rampant, spreading disaster throughout the world. Van Thon looked down at his own hands. His heart heavy with thought, he whispered softly, his voice full of confidence, "A world where strategy decides everything. How interesting." A faint smile flickered across his lips, as if he had just found something satisfying. Suddenly, the classroom door burst open with a bang, and the head teacher appeared. His stern voice rang out, shooing the noisy students away. "Go on, school's over. What are you still doing here? Your families are worried." Then the teacher's gaze landed on Van Thon, a hint of surprise mixed with concern. "Van Thon, the university entrance exam is tomorrow. Why haven't you changed your class yet? Are you treating something this important as a joke? Or do you plan to be a jobless Van?" Then hearing this showed a face that was 3 parts dazed and 7 parts indifferent. Seeing his calm attitude, the head teacher hurriedly explained, "Although a jobless can learn many skills, they are all basic skills. This weakness becomes more apparent later on. People who change classes gain more stats than a jobless each time they level up, but you already know this." The teacher paused for a moment, then continued sincerely. "Van Thon, listen to me. As long as you change your class, you will definitely get a good ranking." Van Thon smiled faintly, reassuring the teacher, "Don't worry, sir. What I want is more than just a good ranking." But in his heart, he thought, what I'm aiming for is the #1 spot, not just a good ranking. As for stats and skills, even without changing classes, I still have a way to obtain them. Because I have a system, that system constantly reminds him to complete missions, run 100 kilometers, do 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups, and hold a horse stance each time he finished. Van Thon would be panting with exhaustion. Feeling like he was about to collapse, he sat down to check the system and clicked his tongue in satisfaction, whether it's stat points or skills. They are all treasures that others have to struggle to level up for. But I just need to complete daily missions, although being jobless has the disadvantage of having too many basic skills, not enough skill points to upgrade them, and weak power. But for him, that limitation doesn't exist. Thanks to the skill points from the system, given enough time, I can max out the skills of every class instead of calling me a jobless. Call me the all-class almighty. Now that the weak skills are maxed out today, I'll add some more stats. Yes, this system is truly a treasure with a convenient interface only he can see. Avoiding a lot of trouble looking at the stat panel, Van Thon realized everything was as usual. Each stat was increased by 2 points, but he knew the rewards didn't just come from daily missions. The higher the achievement, the more generous the reward. With a determined gaze, he told himself, "The system's rewards have never disappointed me. I must take first place." The next morning, in a vast plaza, a giant gate stood majestically. The head teacher stood before the students and warned them sternly. Although I've said it many times, I'll repeat it one last time. The dungeon has 3 difficulty levels, 3 gates of 3 different colors. When the gates open, the secret realm dungeon will begin and the exam will officially start. The higher the difficulty, the more points you get. The fewer people on the team, the higher the score. The teacher paused, his gaze sharp. But remember, the monsters in the dungeon are real. Losing means death. You must act within your capabilities. At the very least, you must survive. As the 3 gates began to open, the head teacher gave the signal for the exam to enter the secret realm dungeon. The students immediately disappeared, entering the battle. The first gate led to the secret realm of the underground city of Caroline. Level 10 to 15 with 3 difficulty modes, simple, hard, and nightmare. The note stated that the underground city of Caroline was filled with vicious, twisted Carolines that craved human flesh and blood. A large screen broadcasted the battle for everyone to watch. The crowd buzzed with discussion. Most students chose to form teams for safety. Only students from the elite class dared to act alone. Suddenly, someone pointed at the screen, his voice full of shock. "Wait a minute, that's not right. There's a solo player who isn't from the elite class." All eyes turned to the screen in astonishment. "What does he have a death wish?" Another person recognized the familiar figure and exclaimed, "My God, a student from a regular class dares to go solo. Does he want to die?" Someone else observed more closely and frowned. "Wait, his equipment is so strange. Why is he carrying so many weapons? Could he be a jobless?" The crowd below erupted in a mix of surprise and ridicule. "A jobless? Someone actually dared not to change classes. Isn't he an idiot? You only get strong skills after changing classes." They laughed, looking down on Van Than without restraint. Teacher Tram Sin stood there, his face stiff, muttering, "It's over, it's over." He put a hand on his head. "I can't believe this foolish student is still stubbornly refusing to change his class. If you don't want to change your class, fine. But why would you dare to solo a nightmare-level dungeon? Are you looking for death?" The headmaster of Donghai Academy, standing nearby, said in a stern voice, "Tram Sin, I need an explanation." Teacher Tram Sin quickly tried to explain, his voice weak. His talent is very suitable for being a jobless. "There probably won't be any problems right at the dungeon entrance." Van Than stood before a long extinguished fire next to a mountain-high pile of white bones. The air was gloomy and chilling. "Truly fitting for a nightmare-level dungeon," he muttered softly, his voice calm. "Let's begin." Outside, the crowd continued to gossip, their eyes glued to his equipment, a rifle, a handgun, a scepter, and even gauntlets. A freckled person pointed, his voice full of doubt. "With so many weapons and skills, can he even use them all? This is a nightmare dungeon. Plenty of people have died here." A masked man tapped the freckled person on the shoulder, making him jump, and exclaimed, "No way that Jobless is running inside the dungeon." Not only was he unafraid, Van Than dashed forward at a dizzying speed as if racing against time. Using a basic swordsman skill, he accelerated. A few hazy, dark figures appeared ahead, preparing to charge. When the Carolines first saw Van Than's figure, they didn't react at all, but a moment later they began to howl madly, their eyes flashing with wild glee. "Oh-ya-ha!" The whole pack of monsters charged towards him, their roars echoing like a chaotic chorus. Van Than remained unfazed, his right hand gripping the scepter tightly. His eyes sharp, he activated the basic mage skill Fireball. A brilliant orb of fire shot out straight into the pack of Carolines and exploded violently in a flash. Nearly 1/3 of the monsters were incinerated. Vanishing in the flames, the masked man, watching from outside, widened his eyes, his voice trembling. "Holy moly, you call that a fireball?" Its casting speed was instantaneous, and its power was even greater than an explosive round. And that's a skill only class-changed mages can learn. The freckled guy next to him, his face pale, stammered, "That's not right. The weapon in his hand isn't a mage's staff. It's changing shape indeed." Van Than skillfully gripped the head of the scepter. He pulled hard, revealing a sharp blade hidden inside the black iron sword scepter, a unique weapon that adds 5 points to intelligence as a scepter and 5 points to strength as a sword. He immediately used the basic swordsman skill. Gale slashed the blade, swung up, slashing straight into the nearest Caroline, making it tremble with a bleeding wound. Without stopping, Van Than twisted his wrist, a clean sword strike slicing across the monster's neck, causing it to collapse instantly. Continuing his assault, he unleashed another Gale slash. Splitting another Caroline's body in two, the remaining monsters roared in fury, their cries echoing as they madly surrounded him. Van Than raised his sword. His sword path zigzagged like a perfect dance. The remaining Carolines fell one by one. Not a single one escaped. The crowd outside cheered excitedly, their voices booming. "That's Windblade Slash, a basic skill of the magic swordsman. So handsome, oh my God," some others whispered in doubt. But can a basic skill really be that terrifyingly powerful? The audience was in an uproar. The masked man, still in shock, used Fireball to break their formation, then eliminated them one by one. He alone is equivalent to both a mage and a swordsman. No 3 people combined. A girl in the stand shouted, her eyes shining brightly, "So handsome, you should quit the university exam, drop out, and become a star." Freckles looked up and mumbled, carrying all that heavy equipment, yet still running so fast. Even with a haste skill, it is impossible to be that fast. The masked guy nodded, his eyes still glued to the screen, that is right, carrying such a heavy load, yet still so agile could it be he put all his stat points into stamina. Freckles shook his head. If that is the case, how could his fireball spell be so powerful? The masked guy still could not take his eyes off the screen. His wind-slash tower is also incredibly terrifying. The dean stood with his hands behind his back, his sharp gaze observing just what is the deal with this kid. His skill power clearly far exceeds the standard teacher tram. Sin scratched his head and said hesitantly, "His talent is all-purpose. It can upgrade basic skills by 2 stages. At the age of 12 to 25, a small number of people will awaken their own talents, and depending on the talent, their choice of class will also differ. People with magic-type talents usually choose classes like mage. Those who awaken combat talents that increase critical hit rate or physical strength will choose swordsman or warrior. Others possess lifestyle skill talents like cooking or crafting. It also greatly affects the choice of a second class." The dean sighed, speaking slowly. Unfortunately, the all-purpose talent can only upgrade basic skills to C rank. C rank is the limit. It is powerful at the beginning but will not keep up later on. A man in a vest chimed in. His combat talent is truly top tier and his magic is precise. His skill combinations are perfect. The girl in yellow nodded, but the level restriction is too low. There is no future in it, not worth nurturing, Teacher Tram. Sin sighed. That is why I advised him to change his class. He will fall further and further behind in dungeons later on. Van Then had already wiped out the horde of Carolines on the path. Blood dripped from his blade with every step, leaving a red trail on the ground. He stopped in front of a large gate, the entrance to the next room. As the door opened, a piercing grating sound echoed, and down the hallway a dense crowd of Carolines was already waiting. Their types were far more diverse than the initial monsters. They stared at Van, then with ravenous eyes as if wanting to tear him to shreds instantly. Before him stood a massive army of goblins. Level 12, Red Goblin, bronze quality, proficient in Fireball and Blazing Fire Barrage. Level 14, Goblin Chieftain, silver quality, possessing Berserk Shockwave and War Stomp. Finally, there was the level 12 Goblin Knight, bronze quality, with Precise Throw and Self-Berserk. Van Than activated his appraisal skill, the corner of his lip curling into a cunning smile. Heh, there are even blue goblins using water attribute magic and goblin warrior mages. Quite a complete army you have here. Nearly 100 goblins, and the terrain is disadvantageous. This will be interesting. The Goblin Chieftain pointed directly at him and growled an order. Immediately, a group of goblin cavalry charged forward on their mounts with sharp spears. Others beat drums, creating a resounding sound to encourage their comrades. Red goblins and blue goblins stood in the back, one casting fireballs, the other shooting ice. They looked at Van Than with sinister smiles. He mumbled his analysis-enhanced cavalry charging forward. "Mages casting from the back, letting you coordinate will be a pain." Van Than raised his scepter and activated the priest's basic skill. Light illumination, a blinding light, radiated out. It caused the goblins and their mounts to become disoriented, their vision completely obscured. The panicked mounts tumbled backwards, creating a chaotic scene. A red goblin that was casting a spell suddenly sneezed. As if sensing a bad omen, Van Than immediately used the assassin's stealth skill. In a flash, he appeared behind the red goblin, placing his dagger against its neck and speaking in a cold voice. Taking out the most dangerous mage first is basic strategy. As soon as he finished speaking, he used his backstab skill, taking down the red goblin in an instant. Seeing its comrade killed, the goblin chieftain roared, ordering the rest to surround Van Than. The goblins roared in unison and charged. Van Than stomped his foot hard, activating the assassin's cloning technique, creating 2 clones with 3/5 of his original power, proficient in all basic skills. He continuously unleashed Backstab, Heart Piercer, and Rupturing Strike, taking down goblin after goblin. In the blink of an eye, the number of monsters decreased rapidly. The goblin chieftain watched as its comrades were massacred. Trembling with rage, its eyes blazing like fire, it roared and leapt towards Van Than. He jumped back neatly, dodging the attack, and said calmly, "It is not time to fight you yet." He raised his scepter high, activating the summoner's basic skill, Summon Water Elemental. Suddenly, a blue goblin rushed forward, grinning sinisterly, causing Van Than to be slightly startled. Outside, the crowd watching the screen suddenly erupted in anger as the feed was cut, switching the scene to another student, damn it, who wants to watch some elite-class swordsman. Show the classless one now. The audience threw things at the screen to express their outrage. Switch back right now, or I will curse your whole family in the broadcast room, a staff member in black said awkwardly. This student has been on screen for over 3 minutes. Can we not show someone else? The person with glasses standing behind him smacked him hard on the head and yelled, "What do you know about viewership? Switch it back quickly." I want to keep watching too in the stands. A blindfolded guy spoke up. Instant cast magic, incredibly powerful swordsman skills, and even perfect control as an assassin. The person next to him added he even used summoning magic. This kid is a real monster, an assassin instructor chimed in. He teaches the assassin class and knows its difficulty well. If the timing is off by just a little, the damage will drop significantly. But his execution is as perfect as a textbook. Many professional assassins are not even as good as him. He is a true combat genius, hearing the familiar voice. The people in the stands looked up and stammered, "Hello, teacher." On the big screen, Van Thon's battle was finally being shown again. The audience cheered wildly, their voices filled with excitement. Look, it is finally back on. He summoned 3 water elementals to deal with the regular goblins, but where is he? The blindfolded guy pointed to a corner of the screen, his voice filled with astonishment. Look, he is soloing the boss, and he has already kited out its entire berserk timer inside the dungeon. Van Thon stood opposite the goblin chieftain. His eyes were ice cold as he thought to himself, here it comes, the ultimate boss fight. 3, 2, 1. This is a nightmare-level boss. Without using a few tricks, I am afraid it will be big trouble. He quickly activated the mechanic's basic skill leg trap, a cleverly placed trap. It locks the enemy for 2 seconds, taking advantage of the moment the goblin chieftain was caught in the trap. Van Thon unleashed a fireball spell. A blazing sphere flew straight into the boss's face. The flames erupted, burning one side of its face and damaging its left eye. The monster roared in anger and charged forward to retaliate. But after just a few steps, it suddenly stopped, a look of utter confusion on its face. At the boss's feet, a time bomb emitted a rapid beeping sound. Just a few seconds later, a terrifying explosion rang out thick with smoke and dust. The surrounding goblins could only stand frozen. Watching the chieftain get sent flying, Van Thon stood to the side, his gaze cold, not letting his guard down for a moment. As the smoke gradually cleared, he spoke in a calm yet challenging tone. Still pretending. At this level, I am still far from being able to kill you from the smokescreen. The boss staggered out, its entire body charred black, its eyes glowing blood red and rage to the extreme. Without giving it a chance to counterattack, Van Thon immediately unleashed the Ice Mage's basic skill. Frostbolt sharp icicles shot out, reducing the boss's attack and movement speed by 35%. It collapsed to the ground, its body trembling. Not stopping there, Van Thon continued to press his advantage with a series of skills: the mechanic's drone launch port, the mage's lightning bolt, and water lance. Then the summoner's water spirit manipulation. A storm of skills rained down, leaving the boss battered and broken, howling miserably and covered in wounds. The audience outside watching through the screen was completely stunned. A girl's eyes went wide as she stammered, This goblin centurion boss is so pitiful." The guy in blue next to her added in an amazed tone, to be tortured from a perfectly healthy state to this miserable condition. It is truly being toyed with to death. The blonde girl nodded and analyzed. From the moment Van Thon used Fireball to blind its vision, causing the Centurion to fall into the trap, everything was already set in place. She added in an admiring tone, "The control skills from the combined classes are so perfect, leaving the opponent no room to retreat. What is rare is that he does not just spam skills randomly. Instead, he carefully calculates the elemental combinations. Water combined with lightning paralyzed the Centurion, plus the vines binding it tightly, and the speed reduction made it completely helpless." The blue-haired woman chimed in, emphasizing more importantly, he locked down the boss's legs, preventing it from using War Stomp, its strongest ultimate skill that was the key to victory. The man holding a cigarette added, "You have to admit the classless one has so many skills, yet he controls them so skillfully it is unimaginable." The effort he must have put into practicing, he turned to teacher Tram Sin and laughed heartily. "Old Tram, at this rate. That Van Thon from your class will make it into the top 5 of the province. For sure," the blue-haired woman agreed. "He might even break our school's record." Teacher Tram Sin scratched his head and laughed awkwardly, his heart swelling with pride. Old Tram, the dean standing next to him, burst out laughing. "Ha ha ha ha, you all can keep your praise. In my opinion, he will make it to the top no matter what. Our school's record is only top 9 in the province. This kid will bring glory to our school. Old Tram," he patted Teacher Tram Sin's shoulder, "come here and sit next to me." Teacher Tram Sin forced a smile and replied, "I knew that kid was not simple." As expected, he did not disappoint me in the stands. A spectator in gray raised his hand excitedly. "The classless is the true meta for this version." A girl with a headband turned to the person in brown, her eyes sparkling. "The classless is so cool, mastering hundreds of low-level skills from every class. Teacher, I do not want to be a mage anymore. I want to be a classless and imitate Senior Van. The person in brown rapped her hard on the head and said in a stern voice, "Follow his path. Do you think you have what it takes? You can't even use a magic staff proficiently and you want to learn to be a remnant. Do you even know how to hold a sword, a gun, or a dagger? Get that ridiculous idea out of your head right now. Being a remnant and actually surviving are two different things. This isn't a game, it's reality, and one small mistake means instant death," she emphasized in a low voice. "He is someone for us to learn from, not to imitate." Inside the instance, Van Thon quietly stepped over a pile of goblin corpses, muttering, "Small fry are done now for the next step." Outside, the man in gray exclaimed in shock, "What? He defeated the boss and isn't resting so arrogant." The girl with the headband wondered why he was heading straight for the next round. Even the dean frowned and remarked, "Too hasty, far too hasty. The other students haven't even reached the boss room yet. He has plenty of time to rest." He glanced at Teacher Transcene, his voice reproachful. "How did you teach him?" Teacher Transcene stammered. Maybe he wants to save time. The clear time is also part of the evaluation criteria." He sighed worriedly. "But his summoned creature hasn't even expired yet. Not resting to recover is too dangerous." The brown-robed man in the stands commented, "This behavior is just asking for death." The school finally gets a genius after so long, and now he's about to throw his life away. The girl with the headband retorted, "Not necessarily. Senior Van Than hasn't used the pistol combat shotgun gauntlets or shield he's carrying. He definitely still has an ace up his sleeve." The brown-robed man shook his head. "I admit he's skilled, but he can't be a master of every basic class. I'm sure he's just carrying that gear for show. His proficiency can't be high," she continued. "The next round is full of high-level monsters. There are no more small fry. Even a tiny mistake means death, and his mana consumption will be severe. By not resting, he's just asking for trouble." Inside the instance, Van Thon channeled his energy, his hands glowing with a blue aura. He murmured, "No more small fry, just high-level goblin mages and shamans interesting." He touched 2 fingers to his forehead, his sharp gaze glancing back as he whispered, "The summon is about to disappear. I have to make the most of this final moment." Stepping into the next round, countless goblins and shamans were already waiting, roaring loudly when they saw him. The goblin mages cast spells, launching streams of blue energy, red and brilliant yellow. Van Thon pointed and commanded, "Go block for me." The summon immediately formed a defensive line in front of him. A series of earth-shaking explosions rang out. From the thick smoke, Van Thon emerged with 2 cannons on his shoulders. With a determined gaze, he said, "Next, let's cover them in firepower." His brow furrowed slightly, his eyes shining with intense resolve. The 4 deans watched and commented thoughtfully. "The gunslinger class has quick draw, critical shot, rapid reload, eager pursuit, ricochet, explosive shot, aerial shot, and many other skills. This is the class with the most basic skills. It's also the most complex of all classes." Head teacher Transcene continued in a deep, thoughtful voice. "However, the difficulty of the gunslinger class lies not only in its shooting techniques, but also in its passive skills. Eager pursuit to achieve maximum damage, every shot must be a perfect hit, making it extremely challenging to use in actual combat." The brown-robed man in the stands interjected with an experienced tone. "The skills of the remnant class are inherently complex. On top of the basic gunslinger techniques, one must also master throwing a spear into the goblin horde to continuously increase the damage they take." Van Thon stood proudly amidst the piles of goblin corpses, his cold, sharp eyes carefully observing every direction. The crowd watching on the screen exploded with astonished, bustling chatter. "This is just too ridiculous. Every shot is a headshot. Isn't this his own personal killing spree? Just what terrifying level of marksmanship is that? I couldn't shoot a stationary target that accurately. He's so handsome, oh my god, let me die by his gun. I declare that Senior Van Thon is now my new husband. I want to be Senior's little sweetheart." The girl with the headband gushed, her eyes sparkling. Senior Van Than doesn't just know how to use a gun, he's a god of marksmanship. The brown-robed man next to her looked embarrassed, sweat dotting his forehead as he stammered in admission. "I'd take back what I said before. He truly is an unprecedented genius. I've never seen a student this strong before. Even the previous top scorers were no match for him." The dean burst out laughing, his eyes twinkling with satisfaction. "Ha ha, just as I predicted. He's not just reckless, but also brave and resourceful." Hearing this, Transcene thought to himself, "That's not what you were saying earlier." The black-robed man standing nearby spoke up, his voice full of doubt. "I've noticed something strange. Up until now, Van Than still hasn't used a single potion. According to the rules, using some common health or mana potions is allowed." The green-haired woman nodded and added, "That's right, aside from instant recovery status potions. Other common types are allowed. Other students have already drunk their fill of potions, yet he hasn't touched a single one. Tran-Sin finally spoke up. In a thoughtful voice, it's not that he isn't using them, he didn't bring any at all. With the limited space in his backpack, he stuffed it full of weapons, explosives, traps, and on top of that, a whole bunch of ammunition. I'm afraid his backpack has been full for a long time. The dean added his sharp gaze, not missing a single detail. Should we call him reckless or confident? Suddenly, Van Thon drew his gun and fired a single bullet. Just that small action made the crowd watching on the screen stir. Look, Senior Van Thon is making a move. I wonder what he's going to do next. Could it be that he's not going to rest and will head to the next room on his side? Van Thon muttered to himself in a low voice. The chamber is full and overloaded. I've pulled the trigger too many times. It's made both guns useless. In the end, they're just weapons made of black iron. You have fulfilled your purpose. With that said, he tossed the two guns behind him without a hint of regret for his action. The dean's eyes widened in shock. The guns were used until they broke. Tran-Sin quickly replied, his voice tinged with helplessness. They're super low-grade, super cheap black iron tier. Hearing this, the dean's voice trembled with anger. What kind of head teacher are you? How could you let a student use scrap metal for the university entrance exam? Tran-Sin hurriedly explained, breaking out in a sweat. He actually can't afford anything better. He has no father or mother, his family is very poor, and on top of that, he has a younger sister to take care of. I understand Van Thon's family situation. The dean was moved, his eyes turning red as he sighed. Why didn't you tell me sooner? If you had told me earlier, I would have bought him better equipment. But now he's already inside the instance. There's nothing we can do, even if we wanted to. Yes. Van Thon calmly approached the third gate and pushed it open. The green-haired woman shouted in an excited voice, "It's about to start. The next room is the final boss." Tran-Sin let out a breath, his voice full of expectation. With Van Thon's current score, if he can get a quick kill, he could become the provincial champion. The dean's eyes shone brightly, his voice full of pride. A new provincial champion. Our school has never had a provincial champion in its history, if he succeeds. I, as the headmaster, would also be recorded in the annals of history. He glanced at Tran-Sin and said sternly, a good seed who could bring glory to the school. If he fails because of his terrible equipment, your teaching position. Don't even think about it. Tran-Sin trembled, only able to look up and pray silently, then you must hold on. The stands were buzzing, no one dared to look away from the screen. The real test is about to begin. Senior Van Thon is about to enter the final boss room. I'm afraid the others haven't even finished fighting the Centurion yet. Maybe he really can become the provincial champion. We're about to witness history. He hasn't even touched the war spear on his back yet. Maybe he still hasn't revealed his true strength. This is so exciting. Just as it was getting to the climax, the broadcast screen suddenly filled with static. The crowd angrily cursed, damn it, why did the screen cut out at the most important moment? Did everyone in the broadcast room die or something? That's outrageous. In the broadcast room, the black-robed girl frantically pointed at the screen. Wait, this situation isn't right. On the screen, someone inside died. They're dead. Someone's dead. The person who died is a student from the rocket class. I just said hi to him yesterday and now he's dead. The audience was in an uproar at the scene of death that appeared. Everyone had been so focused on watching Senior Van Thon open the final boss room door that they forgot about the other candidates stuck at the gate. Two were confronting the Centurion. The death toll kept rising, most of them taken down by the Centurion. That senior just used a town portal scroll and was killed instantly. That was the light from a town portal scroll. A few seniors have given up on the instance and come out. Just a few seconds later, many candidates staggered out of the gate. The arrogant, white-robed guy from before, now covered in blood, stumbled out, his voice trembling. Too dangerous. If I hadn't been quick, I would have died in there. The woman next to him also spoke, her voice full of frustration. Damn it, I couldn't get past the Centurion's war trample. You lying flat on the ground struggled to say I couldn't even get past the second gate. I'm afraid no school will accept me now. I can't accept this. The gray-robed man in the stands, his face bewildered, muttered. We were so focused on Senior Van Thon's side that we forgot this is the hardest exam ever. The girl with the headband added, her voice trembling. The seniors are so much stronger than us. And yet they were still defeated, even killed. Forget about clearing the instance, just surviving until the end is already incredibly difficult. I couldn't do it. Even if I studied for another year, I couldn't kill the Centurion like Senior Van Thon did. The man in the gray shirt continued tearfully, dealing with the Centurion's berserk state is just too difficult. I don't want to learn anymore. I don't want to die. I don't want to be killed, the dean ordered in a steely voice. Switch the screen over to Yun Chen. Someone needs to step up and boost everyone's morale. Zhan Sheng, standing behind Long, was secretly pleased, thinking that in previous years after the junior students were demoralized, the school would usually show images of elite students from the rocket class, but this year the dean chose Yun Chen from their class, which showed that Yun Chen had far surpassed the other candidates. In his eyes, the screen quickly switched on the dean's command. The crowd buzzed again, the screen switched back. It's Senior Yun Chen, he's about to start. Senior Yun Chen was facing the final boss. Yun Chen calmly stepped through the gate before him. The boss, reigning on a throne of ice, suddenly spoke in a human voice. "Human, this is not a place you should tread." It was a level 16 goblin monarch monster with gold rank potential, possessing formidable skills and a signature blood-red cloak, the symbol of the goblin monarch. Yun Chen calmly met its cold gaze. Worthy of a nightmare difficulty final boss, this pressure is truly rare, and it can even speak human language. "This is the first time I've seen something so interesting, but unfortunately you only have 20 seconds to live." As he spoke, he drew the war spear from his back and activated the first skill of a war monk, Blood Rage. The crowd outside erupted in discussion. That's the war monk's skill, Blood Rage. It boosts all attributes by 80% for 20 seconds. Attack speed, movement speed, and armor penetration increase by 75%. But after 20 seconds, the buff wears off and he'll be weakened for 3 minutes with all attributes reduced by 75%. He's finally using his long spear, putting his life on the line. He used Blood Rage right at the beginning as Yun Chen trying to risk it all against the boss. So decisive. If he can't win within 20 seconds, he won't even have a chance to retreat. Zhan Sheng exclaimed in a panic. "Too risky, that's way too risky. Can't he just drag it out and then kill it?" Why is he risking his life right from the start? The dean trembled with anger, growling, "This brat is going to be the death of me. Get my blood pressure medication quick." As time was running out, Yun Chen charged straight toward the boss without a second thought. The boss was stunned by his speed. This human is so fast, but it's a pity he's still too weak. As Yun Chen closed in, the boss swung its sharp blade. The blow was so powerful it shattered the ground. The girl with the headband screamed in horror. "Oh my God, Senior Yun Chen was killed in a single strike." The guy in the gray shirt chimed in despairingly. "The attributes of a nightmare-level boss are just too strong. Even with Blood Rage, it's still too difficult." The dean suddenly collected himself, his eyes brightening. "No, that's wrong. The one killed was a clone, that clever brat." While the goblin monarch was distracted, he used a clone to draw its attention while his real body had already circled around behind it. Just as the dean predicted, Yun Chen silently appeared behind the boss. The sharp tip of his war spear aimed straight at the enemy as he used the first skill of an assassin. Yun Chen drew a long line from the top of the boss's head down to its feet, exactly the same way it had disposed of his clone just moments before. Caught by surprise, the horrified boss whipped its head around to look, but before it could react, the spear pierced through one of its eyes. Yun Chen roared, "Activate Radiant Light." Pushing the spear deeper into its socket, the room was instantly filled with a brilliant blue radiance from the weapon. The boss clutched its eye. It shrieked wretchedly in excruciating pain. Unrelenting, Yun Chen drove the spear deeper into its body, muttering, "Time to finish you while you're weak." The system displayed a notification warning. "Your underhanded tactics have enraged the Goblin Monarch. It has entered a berserk state due to extreme fury." The boss ground its teeth. A dark, swirling aura erupted from its body. Its head recoiled from the spear tip, and suddenly tiny cracks appeared on Yun Chen's weapon. A moment later, it shattered completely. Yun Chen gritted his teeth, staring at his destroyed weapon. He looked at the boss and wondered, is this because of its berserk state? The control duration has been shortened. An earth-shattering explosion resounded as swirling smoke and dust completely obscured the view. The boss frowned, bewildered and unable to locate Yun Chen. While the enemy was confused, Yun Chen secretly activated the first skill of the tail-class tail wrap. He launched a tendril that coiled tightly around the boss, temporarily binding it. He thought to himself, 13 seconds of Blood Rage left. The real show is about to begin. The boss gave a cunning smile as it stared at Yun Chen. Outside, the audience was in an uproar once more. The guy in gray stammered, What is going on? Senior Van always handles things without a direct fight, right? Why did it suddenly break?" The girl with the headband added, "And the Goblin Monarch is completely unharmed. Does this mean that even with Blood Rage, Senior Yun Chen can't break its defense?" "The berserk state," the person in brown added. "Even so, Yun Chen's stats must be incredibly high. Otherwise, his Radiant Light skill wouldn't have been able to blind the Goblin Monarch. And his speed wouldn't be that fast either." The dean in the broadcast room joined the discussion. It's because both his attribute values and the Goblin Monarchs are extremely high, and they both entered their respective Blood Rage and Berserk states, causing their attribute values to skyrocket, Zhan Sheng continued. When stacked like that, a black iron-grade war spear can't possibly withstand their combined force. The Dean frowned, his eyes narrowing. This match should never have had a trash-tier black iron item in it, Zhan Sheng. Do you understand what I'm saying? Zhan Sheng stammered fearfully. I'm sorry. He thought to himself, what's worse is that the duration of Blood Rage is already short, and now he can't even break through its defense. How is he supposed to fight now? If this top prodigy dies because of bad equipment, I'll be a sinner for the ages. Meanwhile, Yun Chen and the boss were still locked in a tense standoff. A system notification appeared, 13 seconds of Blood Rage remaining. Yun Chen thought grimly he had planned to finish the fight before the boss entered its berserk state. Who knew it would activate so quickly? This is tough. With so little time left, I have to find a way to break its defense. Thinking this, he jumped to his feet, drew the sword from his back, and used the main swordsman's skill sever. The system prompted 9 seconds of Blood Rage remaining. Just then, Yun Chen was slammed into a corner by the boss, panting in exhaustion. The girl with the headband cried out in panic. It's over! It's all over! Blood Rage is about to run out, and he still hasn't broken its defense. Is he going to die? The guy in gray chimed in. Senior Yun Chen is also badly injured. If his spear had been just a slightly higher grade, this match would have ended a long time ago. Now even his sword is broken. He can't use his sword or magic skills now, Zhan Sheng added, and to make matters worse, he didn't have enough backpack space so he couldn't bring any healing potions. Once he's injured, it means it's completely over. Just then, the boss raised its axe high, towering over Yun Chen with a look of pure triumph. Now you can die. 7 seconds of Blood Rage remained. Yun Chen looked up at the boss. Is that so? He then used the main tail skill, injecting vines, lashing out at the boss. The boss quickly severed the vines with its axe breaking free. A spectator in black stared wide-eyed. Now even Senior Yun Chen is just flailing wildly. The tail is a control-focus class. Its main skills are not meant for attacking. The person beside him wondered, is this just a desperate struggle before he dies? The man in black added, but thinking about it, something seems odd. After the Goblin Monarch went berserk, it even used its neck to block the spear. So why did it dodge a simple vine? In the broadcast room, the Dean laughed. He's figured it out. Yun Chen wiped the blood from his mouth and muttered, logically speaking, every monster has a weak point, yet my weakness detection skill couldn't find any on you. He activated a piece of special equipment. 5 seconds left. His eyes glowed with a green light as he continued. Of course, the examiners wouldn't design a challenge that has no weak points. It's just that I hadn't discovered your weakness yet. As if refusing to listen, the boss roared, nonsense. Yun Chen pressed on. Your weak point is hidden on your back, concealed by your cloak. Finishing his words, he executed the main martial artist skill, Fire Fist. He only had 3 seconds left. I'll use these last 3 seconds to deal with you, he thought. The boss, breaking free, said confidently, it's useless. Before it could get away, his attack was already closing in. 2 seconds of Blood Rage left. The excited audience leaped to their feet, roaring with cheers. He's about to win. Senior Yun Chen's attack is going to hit the boss's weak spot. Go on, Senior Yun Chen, you're the best. By the time the boss completely broke free, the Fire Fist was right upon it. It could only stare as it took the full impact of the flaming punch. The heavily wounded boss staggered and fell backward, but still scoffed with a smirk. An attack of this level can only knock me down. It can't cause any real damage. You have lost. Van Thon calmly retorted right back. Haven't you? The duration of the Blood Rage also ended at this moment. Only then did the boss notice the sword standing upright right behind it. It wondered since when. Even though it noticed, it could do nothing because the momentum of its fall was too strong. It was impaled through the heart by the protagonist's sword and died on the spot. Van Thon also fell backward. His hand trembled violently. Just as he regained his composure and stood up, the system sent a notification. Congratulations, Candidate Van, for successfully clearing the dungeon. Goblin City. Your difficulty level was Nightmare. Your clear time was 14 minutes and 47 seconds. Your college entrance exam score has been successfully recorded. Reminder from the audio assistant. The college entrance exam has concluded. You're about to receive your reward for clearing the difficult dungeon. The entire school erupted in cheers. He won. Senior Van defeated the Goblin Monarch. In total, he only used 20 seconds. He's too strong. He's the strongest. Before disappearing, the Goblin Monarch kept cursing. Damn it, the dungeon notification sounded. Based on the dungeon difficulty plus clear time, your evaluation is SSS-Rank. Congratulations on being confirmed as the first person recorded. To clear this dungeon, Clear rewards: 15,650 experience points, 20 free attribute points, 20 skill points. Congratulations on receiving the 1-star golden pauldrons, 1-star golden belt, 1-star gold gloves. Congratulations on receiving the title Goblin Slayer. Attack damage against the goblin race is increased by 25%. Van Thon felt his own power change, leveling up 3 times in a row and gaining 9 free attribute points. Plus 9 skill points. What a wealth of EX, but this is a first in history. The title of top scorer is practically in my hands, but I should stay humble until the results are out. The system continued to announce. As you are the first to clear it, you will unlock an achievement talent. Please choose one of the following 3 options. 1. Rapid Casting A rank. Reduces casting time and gestures. 2. Attack Aura A rank. Attack speed increases by 30%. Every 3rd consecutive attack will have its damage increased by an additional 80%. 3. Indomitable A rank. When critically injured, automatically increases attack power and speed by 100%. Van Thon considered his options. They were all excellent talents. To choose one of the 3 considering my overall strategy. Choosing rapid casting is the most suitable. I'll pick that one. A stream of divine sense flashed and shot straight into the middle of Van Thon's forehead, causing a brilliant mark to appear there. System notification. You have received the A-rank talent Rapid Casting. Van Thon nodded slightly, his eyes sparkling with satisfaction. Now let's see the effects of this new equipment, he muttered. They're all golden grade, far surpassing my black iron gear. 1-star golden belt increases constitution by 10 points, and strength by 5 points, requires level 12. 1-star golden pauldrons. Increases constitution by 5 points and strength by 15 points, requires level 13. 1-star golden gauntlets increases strength by 30 points. Critical hit rate increases by 3%, requires level 10. The set effect of the 3 items is that 5 seconds after leaving combat. Based on one's own constitution, life force, mana, and stamina will continuously recover. Van Thon smiled. What a good set of items. If I were to fight the Goblin Monarch again, I bet I could take it down in just 5 seconds, immediately after. He was teleported to the center of the square. As soon as he appeared, a giant question mark seemed to pop up above his head as cheers erupted from all directions. Van Thon, Senior Van Thon is out. Why are you just calling him Vanthan? It should be the invincible Vanthan. I love Vanthan, the heartthrob of thousands. Van Thon was stunned by the chaotic scene, muttering, what is this situation? The invincible Vanthan. What new title is this? The principal walked over, his smile radiant. Ha ha ha. Vanthan, you did very well. Behind him was a cameraman and a few teachers. Van Thon was bewildered. Principal teacher can too. The 2 men stood on either side, sandwiching Van Thon between them. Now look at the camera. The cameraman immediately started filming from all angles. The principal slapped his shoulder hard. The results will be updated in 3 days, at the latest 7 days. I'll let you know as soon as I have news. Get some rest for the next few days. Van Thon nodded. Thank you, Principal. A sleek luxury car pulled up right where the principal's group was. The crowd in the stands immediately buzzed. The principal's car. The principal signaled the driver to take Van Thon home. Oh my God, who else gets this kind of treatment as expected of the invincible Van than before getting in the car, the principal told him. Your result this time will at least be in the top 3 of the province. You might even be the top scorer. After it's announced, the rewards will be very generous. Go share the good news with your family. Van Thon replied, yes, sir. The principal watched the car disappear into the distance, thinking to himself, as long as he wins the title of provincial top scorer, not only will Van Thon rise to prominence in one step, but Dongvan Academy will also gain the attention of the Education Bureau and receive countless resources. My name will also be carved into the history of education. A man in black ran up. Principal A call from the Education Bureau. The principal smirked. Ha, 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 faster than I thought. At Van Thon's home, when he stood at the door, it was already dusk. The dim yellow light from the old house cast upon him. He pushed the door open and stepped inside. I'm home. Van Duong, his younger sister, was busy preparing dinner. As soon as she saw him, she beamed and cried out, You're back just in time. I finished cooking. Come and eat. Today is your important college entrance exam day, so I made a lot of dishes. I even added some meat. It's delicious. Van Thon looked at his sister's busy figure, a mixed feeling welling up in his heart. In this life, father had fallen on the front lines against the monster hordes over 15 years ago. Mother worked hard to raise him and his sister, but she also passed away from illness a few years ago. The family lost its source of income. Now they only live on a subsidy. Even the equipment he used was old gear left by his mother. Over the years, so that he could focus on practicing his combat skills, Van Duong shouldered all the housework alone. no matter how much he tried to persuade her. The little girl was adamant about not letting him lift a finger. This girl is both stubborn and strong, he thought to himself. The only thing he could do was work 10 times. 100 times harder to repay her. Fortunately, things are gradually getting better, Van Duong, her mouth full from chewing, asked. How was your exam? Did it go smoothly? Van Thon replied. There were some problems, but overall it was pretty good. The principal said I'm guaranteed top 3. We just have to wait for the results to get the generous rewards. Van Duong's eyes lit up. Really then, can we eat meat once a week from now on? Van Thon flicked her nose. Silly girl. Not just once. We'll be able to eat meat every meal from now on. Van Duong got excited. Meat. Seeing his sister so happy, Van Than made a resolution. I will help you live a comfortable and happy life. 5 days later, while jogging for his daily quest, Van Thon opened the system interface. For 5 days, I've completed my quests on time. I've earned a decent amount of skill points. University skill points are higher than high schools. The 7 universities will surely have basic skills for hidden classes. I must prepare well. He pushed the door and entered the house. Hey, you're back. Van Duong rushed to hug him tightly. Brother, the results are out. You ranked first. You're the top scorer, Van then teased. Are you pulling my leg this time? It's true. Why haven't you received the news yet? Van Duong handed him his phone. You forgot your phone at home when you left this morning. Your phone has been ringing off the hook. Oh, right. Van Than checked. Yeah, there are a lot. A call came in. He answered it. Hello? The principal's voice on the other end was so loud it almost deafened him. Why didn't you pick up after so many calls? Never mind that. Get to the school right now. The recruiters are about to arrive. Get ready to choose a university. Yes, sir. Van Thon was dazed. Which school should I choose? I'm so excited. 3 years ago in the talent testing room, Van Thon placed his hand on the testing stone. The result appeared. All-rounder, he was stunned. The surrounding students jeered, ha ha ha, all-rounder, what a trash talent. It increases all basic skills of every profession. By 2 ranks, what's the use of that? Even if it was 3 ranks, it still couldn't compare to the advanced skills of a proper class. This kid is finished. The teacher comforted him. Van Thon, don't be discouraged. A talent doesn't decide everything. If you don't have a good talent, just work hard and wait for your class change. That day it was pouring rain. Van Thon trudged through the downpour, his heart heavy. All-rounder. No matter how hard I try, is it all useless? Just then, an electronic screen suddenly appeared before him. Notification. You have activated the system. I will help you enhance the class you want to become the strongest in. Van Thon was stunned. A system like in the comics is this real? What's the use of you showing up now my talent is already far behind others? The system displayed another notification. Please select the class you desire. Van Thon mused absent-mindedly. Jobless. Is the unclassed a class 2? To his surprise, the system immediately confirmed. Class the unclassed selected. Van Thon reminisced. 3 years have passed in a flash. Even though I'm the unclassed, I still managed to become the provincial top scorer. I wonder what reward the system will give me. The system interface appeared. Achievement. First place in the Jiangnan Province College Entrance Exam. Based on the top 1 rank and the title of undefeated champion, the system is reviewing the mission completion reward. A series of notifications popped up. Congratulations, your B-rank talent all-rounder has been upgraded to A+. All acquired skills can be raised by 3 ranks with the highest reaching B+. Congratulations! You have received the God-tier skill Divine Strike STR. Congratulations! You have received the Divine Object 10 Rebirth Armor S-Rank. Congratulations! You have received the new talent Super Regeneration S-Rank. Congratulations! You have received 50 free attribute points. Congratulations! You have received 50 skill points. Van Thon was thrilled. What a generous reward, not to mention the skill and attribute points. My talent has upgraded, meaning all my skills can now exceed their level cap by 1 tier. A normal skill learned at E rank will become C rank with this talent. Now with an A+ talent, its maximum power can reach B+, even surpassing many class change skills. A new item appeared, 10 Amulets of Rebirth. When the owner dies, it is automatically consumed to find a safe place for revival. Van Thon cherished it, as it gave him an incredibly precious extra life. 6 Super Regeneration, the body cells are enhanced with powerful vitality. It helps avoid most fatal wounds. Divine Blink. A god-level secret art allows teleportation across long distances in an instant. 7 Van Thon remarks Super Regeneration is obviously amazing. As for Divine Blink, it's a versatile skill for both offense and defense. Both are extremely practical. With rewards like these, the system must want me to burst from fullness. 8. Yes, Van Duong rushed in frantically. Brother, it's chaotic outside. News about you being the top scorer is everywhere. The Bureau of Education even sent us money. Yes, Van Thon held his phone. The Bureau of Education is one thing, but these companies are using me for advertising. Van Duong asked excitedly, are we accepting all this money now? Yes, Van Thon instructed only accept the money from the Bureau of Education and reject all the rest. Money from unknown sources is the most dangerous. I'm heading to school now. The admissions officers have probably arrived. A student in front of the school gate, a bustling crowd of reporters conducting interviews, filming, and live streaming noisily. Hello, student. Are you in the same class as Van Thon? What is your relationship with him? The student was able to be. The interview excitedly recounted, making the reporter raise his voice. What, you used to hang out with Van Thon? Quick, tell us how Van Thon goes to the toilet. Yes, Van Thon, standing nearby, broke out in a cold sweat. What is wrong with these reporters? Luckily, I came prepared. Otherwise, I wouldn't even be able to get through the school gate. My house is probably surrounded, too. I wonder if Van Duong is okay. In the principal's office, he sat there with a smug expression. Ha ha, you all have come from the top universities in the country, surely for the top scorer of our Dongvan Academy. Van Thon, right? First, the teacher from Khan University, Ao Hoa, leisurely blew on the steam from his teacup. In a cold voice, he said, I have already asked the people here. I never expected your esteemed school to keep a classless student a rare occurrence indeed, and even hype him up as the top scorer. He slammed the teacup on the table with an arrogant attitude. Have him choose a profession and undergo a class change immediately. Otherwise, he shouldn't even dream of setting foot in our Khan University. The principal frowned, his face darkening. Teacher, what do you mean by that? Van Thon is the provincial top scorer. All the universities are fighting to recruit him, yet you want to reject him. Ao Hoa sneered, his voice full of contempt. Doesn't everyone know that a classless person has no future? Even a top scorer is no exception. If he doesn't change his class, our Khan University doesn't want him. Dien Huyen Chao, a first-year student from Khan University, immediately chimed in to support his teacher. Teacher, don't be angry. Dongvan is just a small academy in a remote area. A student from a place like this isn't worth your concern. He started to slander. This Van Thon must have used plenty of despicable tricks to become the top scorer, but it's all just child's play. First, Ao Hoa gave a faint smile and continued humph that Van Thon probably only managed to shine during this exam. This kind of person is not worthy of Khan University. The principal, red with anger, shouted, You brat, don't talk nonsense. How difficult the path of a classless person is. What right do you have to judge my Van than he is a true top scorer who didn't need any dirty tricks? Teacher Ao Hoa laughed contemptuously. Ha ha, getting angry and wanting to get physical already. I advise you to calm down. A female teacher with a scar on her face crossed her arms and spoke coldly. Teacher Ao Dongvan is after all an academy in our Jiangnan. Pushing people around like this, do you think Jiangnan has no one to stand up for itself? Teacher Ao Hoa became even more arrogant. Is that so? Then I would like to see just how much talent you people in Jiangnan have. Another teacher quickly tried to intervene. Everyone, it's a misunderstanding, let's not resort to violence. But the female teacher refused to back down, a student from Khan University being this arrogant and disrespectful. Do you think we are easy to bully? So what if I'm westernized and impolite? The principal roared. Stop arguing, are you here to recruit students or to cause trouble? Dien Nguyen Chao said smugly. Of course I'm here to recruit, but we have our doubts. He curled his lip. The National University entrance exam is so crowded. Who knows how he managed to stand out? The door to the room burst open and Van Thon walked in, his voice calm yet sharp as ice. Are you trying to slander me? The head teacher exclaimed with joy. Van Thon, the principal, also smiled. Van Thon, you're here. Let me introduce you. These are the universities here to recruit. Yes. Van Thon waved his hand. No need for introductions. I heard everything from outside. He walked up to Dien Nguyen Chao, his gaze sharp. You are a student of Khan University. Now that I am here, would you like to see what tricks I use? Dien Nguyen Chao frowned. What do you want? Yes, Van Thon held his head high. I, in my capacity as the top scorer, challenge you. If I don't win in 5 moves, I will admit defeat. Dien Nguyen Chao thought he had misheard. Hey, you want to defeat me in 5 moves? He burst out laughing arrogantly. Ha ha ha, a fresh graduate wants to defeat me. You truly don't know your own limits. He nodded. Fine. The head teacher quickly tried to stop him. Van Thon, don't be reckless. Khan University is the #1 school and he has already finished his first year. Who knows how many powerful skills he has learned? Dien Nguyen Chao wagged his finger smugly. Hey, you are not allowed to back out now. Everyone heard it clearly. He challenged me. It's not me bullying him, right? The principal was deep in thought, worrying inwardly. This is too reckless. The opponent has undergone a class change and is level 19, while Van Thon is only level 13. How can he possibly fight everyone moved to the training arena? Aohoa taunted Nguyen Chao. He said he will defeat you in 5 moves. So just block his 5 moves and you will be fine. Although it is a bit embarrassing, Nguyen Chao crossed his arms confidently. Teacher, don't worry, I only need 3 moves. The head teacher looked worriedly at the principal. Things have come to this, we can only hope Van Thon can create a miracle. Nguyen Chao drew his staff. I am a mage. Are you planning to use that staff or that broken sword? Do you want to fight as both a mage and a swordsman? Van Thon shook his head. No, the sword is already broken. I can only use my mage form now, he said confidently. Even so, it's more than enough to defeat you. Nguyen Chao was furious. You want to defeat me with magic? How arrogant. He cast chant acceleration on his staff, looking pleased. It only takes 0.7 seconds to finish a chant. This brat can't be faster than me. But just as he was feeling smug, a massive, brilliant fireball shot straight towards him. Van Thon sneered. Is this all a student from Khan University has got? The head teacher was horrified. Heavens, he broke through directly with just 1 fireball. In less than 2 seconds, Van Thon fought a level 19 mage with magic and won an overwhelming victory. The teachers outside were amazed. Instant casting even faster than a professional mage. That purple fireball is quite powerful. His main skill must have reached B rank. No, that is not right. His talent information says it is C rank. The principal beamed. His omni-talent has evolved. The head teacher recalled that during the competition, the fireball was still bright red. 6, the teacher from Jiangnan University mused. The weakness of a classless person is the difficulty in leveling up, leading to a large gap with those who have changed classes. But his talent has no level-up restrictions and can even evolve. Combined with his versatile combat abilities, he is a true all-around genius. The teachers surrounded Van Thon, clamoring with offers. Van Thon, come to our Dongfu University. We will give you 3 A-rank resources. Tianvu University will give you 3 gold-grade items. Just come to our Jing University. We will give you 5 A-rank and B-rank resources. One teacher shouted, Hey, old dog, are you looking for a fight? Are you trying to go all out? Aohoa was embarrassed but remained stubborn. Humph. So what if his talent evolved once? He still has no future. The other recruiters jeered. Ouch, looks like someone is feeling the burn. Khan University probably doesn't dare to recruit anyone now. Your student is still sleeping on the ground over there. Aren't you going to pick him up? Aohoa turned and left in a huff. The recruiters were gloating. Khan University lost face and scurried off. Just let them go. One turned to Van Thon. I will add another A-rank resource on my side. Come with me. I will arrange the female teachers for you. Van Thon scratched his nose awkwardly. The female teacher from Jiangnan University spoke up. Vanthan, you are the top scorer of Jiangnan province. Come to Jiangnan University. We will provide all the primary skill books for every class, not just from the Zhuanlong Kingdom, but also unique skills from other nations like the Fusang Kingdom's ninja onmyoji and samurai, or Western countries' witches, sorcerers, and vampires. If you achieve high results, I will request hidden skills for you. In addition, our forging and alchemy departments will create a multi-form weapon specifically suited for a classless person. The other recruiters were stunned to hear this. Jiangnan University is really going all out. Skill books, hidden skills, a multi-form weapon. All of them are rare items, and they are even suitable for a classless person. Van Thon's eyes lit up, his decision seemingly made. He shook the teacher's hand. I choose Jiangnan University. The other schools are so regretful. Choosing Jiang University was indeed the best fit. Why didn't I think of that? Van Thon expressed that while Jiang University is good, another reason is that it's close to home. If anything happens to Van Duong, I can still rush back in time. In the campus grounds behind the school, Van Thon activated Phantom Step. He bent his knees slightly and leaped to the top of the lakeside pavilion, continuously using Phantom Step. He moved from one place to another, finally leaning against a large tree branch, panting heavily. Phew, this divine skill is not easy to use, even though its speed and distance far exceed other skills. But the consumption is too great. The phone in his pocket beeped once. He opened it to see his account had received 5 million from the Jiangnan Provincial Department of Education, and his account had received 2 million from Dongyun Academy. Van Thon raised an eyebrow. 5 million and 2 million in scholarships, not bad. The other rewards must have been sent home. Taking the opportunity to practice Phantom Step, he began to move his figure, flickering in and out of sight. A car glided to a gentle stop in front of Van Thon. The metal gleamed under the midday sun. The car door swung open and a man with a distinguished air stepped out. Hello, we are from Jiangnan University. This is the weapon we promised you, a multi-form weapon. Van Than raised an eyebrow slightly and reached out to open the box's lid. The light from the weapon inside shone out brilliantly and mesmerizingly. A 3-star demonic formation breaker strength attribute increased by 10, intelligence increased by 10. Notably, this weapon can switch between 3 unique forms. In its battle gun form, physical power is increased by 35%, and armor penetration is enhanced. When transformed into a long sword, each slash inflicts an additional 25% bleeding effect, and in its scepter form, magic damage is increased by 35% along with superior armor penetration. Usage requirement human race level 12. Available for the warrior swordsman, magic swordsman, and mage classes. Van Than smiled in satisfaction, his eyes sparkling with joy. Just like this. This means I now have 3 gold-grade weapons. I finally don't need to carry so many around anymore. Thank you. The teacher nodded slightly. He replied in a gentle voice, "You're being too polite. These weapons have been stored at the university for a long time. It seems they have finally found their master, and you will be able to use it for a very long time." "Yes," he continued in a steady yet meaningful tone. "Normally, weapons are graded from iron, bronze, silver, gold to platinum, and from diamond to legendary. Each item is also rated by its star level, as long as you're willing to invest in embedding gems to upgrade its star level. The weapon's power will increase by another tier, but you must be careful as embedding gems is a risky action. If it fails, the weapon's quality might decrease." Van Than nodded, his expression serious. "Understood, I will be careful." The teacher smiled and took a stack of skill books from the car's trunk, his eyes shining with excitement. "This time, it's not just the weapon. We also brought rare skill books for various classes. Not too many, but enough for you to explore." Van Than looked at the pile of books, his eyes glowing as if he had found a treasure. "Whoa," the teacher added, "the rest will be used for course credit exemptions. The library's doors are always open to you." Then he took out another item, his voice solemn. "On behalf of Dongyun City, besides the scholarship, the city is gifting you a villa. Here are the key and the acceptance papers." Van Than was so engrossed in flipping through the skill books that he barely paid attention. A house he didn't care much. His entire focus was on the pile of books before him. "Oh, this is a primary skill for warlocks. There's also one for demon hunters. What's this, a primary skill for a knight-errant? Our country has such a rare class, too." Van Duong stood beside him, watching her brother immersed in the books, and sighed wearily. 75 years ago, the game God's Domain was launched, attracting hundreds of millions of players. Many players did not choose the human race, but started as other races like elves, beastmen, or dwarves. When the game merged with reality, these bloodlines mixed with the player's own. But over time, marriages between ordinary people and those with special bloodlines created humans with mixed blood. The game system, from its class templates to its vast maps. NPCs and monster factions all integrated into the real world, causing the Earth to expand 10,000-fold. The terrain changed completely, and Dongyun City was just a tiny corner of it. It's rare to encounter other races here, but only by coming to Jiangnan University will I truly broaden my horizons about this world, Van Than thought to himself. Over the next month, besides completing his daily quests, he devoted himself to studying. Not only did he master countless rare skills, he also practiced relentlessly. He completely mastered the demonic formation breaker. For the remaining half of the month, Van Than took Van Duong to travel everywhere, exploring lands they had previously only dared to admire from a distance. The two siblings spent days filled with joy together. As the first day of school approached, Van Duong hugged her older brother tightly, tears streaming down her face. "Boo-hoo, I'll miss you so much." "Okay?" Van Than gently advised, "If anything happens, call me immediately. If you need anything, just buy it. Don't go for the cheap stuff. We don't have to worry about money anymore. You're an 8th grader now, too. You have to take good care of yourself." Van Duong nodded obediently. "Yes, you also have to eat and bathe on time." Van Than smiled and waved goodbye. "I have to go now. The goal is to be in the top 7 nationwide. This is truly eye-opening." At Jiangnan University, a girl approached to talk, her voice cheerful. "Hello, you must be a new student. I'm in charge of registration here. Please give me your new student file." Van Than handed over the file and replied curtly, "Yes, here it is." The girl was slightly startled when she read the name Van Than from Dongyun City. Whispers immediately broke out around them. "What, he's that Van Than, the valedictorian of Jiangnan province for this year's university entrance exam. The legendary unclassed one. Hey, so this is what he looks like. I have to fight for his ranking no matter what." The girl continued, her voice tinged with a bit of teasing. "The good treatment you're receiving will make many new students jealous, and it will also make you the center of attention. as usual after the welcome ceremony for new students tomorrow. A competition for new students will be held 1 week later. At that time, countless people will want to seize your position. Jiangnan University gathers many geniuses from all over. Among them are valedictorians from other provinces, and even those you push down to the top 2 or top 3 spots in the entrance exam are looking to reclaim the top 1 position. You should be careful. The system suddenly announced a mission. The competition is about to take place. New mission: maintain the top 1 ranking in the new student competition. Penalty for failure: none. Reward: E-rank skill lucky drink. Van Thon clenched his fists, the corner of his mouth curling up. Ha ha, then just let them come at me. The next day at the gate of Jiangnan University, the atmosphere was bustling with the whispers of new students. See that? That guy is the valedictorian, the unclassed Van Thon. Heh heh. Last night he was in the villa on the mountain, while we could only stay on the mountainside being looked down upon by him. It's so annoying. Van Thon heard the words spoken deliberately loud to provoke him, but he just smiled silently. I'm not convinced. That's right, he definitely cheated on the exam. I'm a provincial valedictorian too. On what grounds am I ranked below him? Just an unclassed with no class transfer. I only need 1 finger to take him down. Shen Taishan, the valedictorian of Daizhou province and a blood knight, spoke up. If you're not convinced, you can compete and challenge him instead of complaining here. Mi Qingling, the valedictorian of Donglan province and a hidden Taoist, also chimed in. That's right, talking behind someone's back is not okay. Zhe Huangfeng, the top 2 from Jiangnan province, a rare burst mage class user, appeared bitter. That guy stole the top 1 spot from me. Stop pretending, just you wait. After the tournament, I'll have a match and drag him down. Inside the academic building, the dean of the War Academy, Ye Anfu, spoke in a gentle tone. Haha, it seems you all care a lot about the rankings, huh? Everyone is in an uproar. A teacher beside him added, I heard from the student council that they are very dissatisfied with Van Thon being at the top 1 spot, believing he has an advantage due to his local residency. Ye Anfu shook his head, slightly unconcerned. These kids really underestimate my judgment. All the deans have reviewed the footage from the university entrance exam. Each of them has their own calculations. The dean of the Weaponry Academy, the Iceberg Queen Xia Qingcheng, walked in, her voice cold but firm. Van Thon's combat skills are not bad. His combat intuition is like mine, and he can use multiple types of weapons. I've already claimed him. The surrounding teachers exclaimed in surprise. It's the first time we've seen Dean Xia take such an interest in a student. She's usually as cold as ice and a woman of few words, earning her the nickname Iceberg Queen. But Van Thon is a good seed, and we won't give him up easily. Ye Anfu looked through the glass window and laughed loudly. Ha ha ha! Not only are the students paying attention to him, but the instructors are also fighting over him. If that's the case, we'll have to speed things up. He struck his staff hard on the floor and instantly appeared before the new students using a teleportation spell. Van Than thought to himself, according to the student handbook, among the 5 academies, the War Academy is the strongest. And he is its Dean Yanfu. He spoke, his voice echoing. This old man understands all the grievances and dissatisfaction of the new students. Therefore, I have decided to move the competition forward. Everyone prepare. At 2 o'clock this afternoon, come to Yunnan Square to begin the combat assessment. The new students responded in unison, yes. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon at Yunnan Square, a Taoist priestess exclaimed in awe, Wow, it's the great gate of the Silver Secret Realm. This is the first time I've ever seen it. A classmate nodded. His reputation is truly well-deserved. Shi Huangfeng crossed his arms, his voice full of confidence. I heard that all secret realms are controlled by government agencies, and the more important the academy is, the more high-level secret realms it possesses. The crowd cheered excitedly. Hee, it seems this competition is just like a college entrance exam using dungeon instances to fight for rankings. Tuyet Huangpong stepped forward to provoke Van Than right. You will become a stepping stone under my feet. Yun Chen glanced over, and sure enough, all eyes were on him, which was also a good opportunity for him to broaden his horizons, to witness the geniuses from all 4 corners. The supervising instructor cleared his throat and reminded them, the upcoming competition will directly affect everyone's course credits and living benefits. Please take it seriously and pay close attention. There are no prohibitions in this assessment. You can use any potions you wish. Just be careful not to drink yourselves to death. The instance gate creaked open and the official competition began. Everyone rushed into the secret realm as the freshmen were teleported one by one inside the instance system. A notification echoed, Dungeon Instance Giant Demon's Lair, level 12 to 15, Nightmare difficulty. Required party size 1 to 5. Note in the lair of the dark, gloomy forest. There is a village where the giant demons are resting. It is said that in a dark environment, their fighting spirit will explode with greater strength. Yun Chen was transported inside. He gripped the multiform weapon, the monstrous formation breaker. Time to quickly solve this and finish them off. He confidently charged forward. On the large screen, the image of a half-cyborg freshman appeared, roaring, "Muahaha, die, all of you die for me," Yanfu praised. Indeed, as expected of the mechanical engineer, ranked 653, clearing a nightmare-level instance alone without flinching. "The overall quality of this year's freshman is outstanding," the instructor next to him asked curiously. "That freshman over there. If I remember correctly, he's the priest ranked 213. A healer type like him choosing to go solo, that healer was crawling on the ground among small snakes and centipedes. Haha, it seems heaven is on my side. I am of the Shadow Priest school among the priests. The greater the healing output, the higher the damage, and my attributes will be greatly enhanced in a dark environment. I will definitely secure a spot in the top 10. The teachers were speechless. As for that kid, his Windblade and Fireball are at least B-grade quality, otherwise he couldn't produce such an impressive result. This brat is a perfect fit for our Elemental Academy. Yanfu reminded everyone, for now it seems he's leading the freshmen in terms of practical combat ability. As for the second combat room, it's not just a test of combat power alone. Second combat room, Giant Demon's Lair. Yun Chen stepped into the terrain of the second room and his ankle suddenly sank deep into the mud. He immediately planted the monstrous formation breaker into the ground. Stabbing it in for leverage. I guess I can't move recklessly now. Otherwise, I'll sink even deeper. A fireball spell erupted from underground, the shockwave launching Yun Chen into the air. He flipped skillfully and landed on solid ground. Yun Chen observed the swamp stretching everywhere, a treacherous terrain with limited visibility. It seemed that, to quickly pass this combat room, one needs extremely keen perception. He thought confidently, this is too easy for me. Drip's primary skill, Nature's Interaction. Nature's Interaction helps to feel the breath of nature, enhancing perception. The effect increases with plant density. As Yun Chen moved like a flash, he thought, normally Nature's Interaction only enhances perception at a basic level, but my ability has reached B+ grade. He stopped by a tree trunk, lowered his center of gravity, gripped the bark with one hand, and closed his eyes to concentrate. It could make plants resonate, even communicate with them. Whether it was trees, moss, or mold, they all became his eyes and ears. His eyes suddenly snapped open. At this moment, Yun Chen was standing next to a tall, large tree. He looked down at the dense vegetation on the ground, which all lit up as if energized. Through this, he clearly sensed the path forward. The way to the third combat room is this way. Yun Chen dashed in that direction, following the large, rough brown roots that dug deep into the earth. He moved nimbly, like a squirrel leaping from one root to another. As he neared his destination, he pulled out a long, green, tendril-like rope and cast a tentacle skill. The rope wrapped tightly around a sturdy branch above. Below was a pool of dark water of unknown depth. Yun Chen thought to himself, I absolutely must not touch the swamp pool below or I'll be put at a disadvantage. Confirming the stability of the tendril rope, he gripped it tightly and swung across as graceful as a little monkey. He then landed lightly and effortlessly on a tall tree not far away. What Yun Chen didn't expect was that on that very tree a dark, shadowy monster was lurking. Ready to attack, it swooped down with incredible speed, holding a small but heavy and dangerous-looking mace. Its appearance gradually became clear. Its body wasn't tall, but was sturdy and muscular. It had long, elf-like ears, 2 tusks curved like a wild boar's, and a ferocious, terrifying expression. It laughed gleefully, ha-ha, as it leaped, but just as it was about to bring its mace down on Yun Chen, an unexpected situation occurred. A scepter suddenly appeared on his shoulder. The head of the scepter glowed red with a large green crystal emitting thick, spreading smoke. That very thing startled the monster. A pink fireball spell shot out from the scepter and hit it directly, making it eat the full blow. It panicked, baring its teeth and sticking out its tongue. It looked both ridiculous and pathetic. Yun Chen turned back, his voice full of power. It seems you still don't understand the situation. I've already told you. He turned his hand, still gripping the scepter. Because all the plants are my eyes and ears. It wasn't just one monster in the tree. Several dozen others were hiding, ready to pounce. They seemed terrified by Yun Chen's recent counterattack. He stood proudly, raised the scepter, and slammed it into the ground. That was Drip's first skill growth. Suddenly, the monsters let out savage ka-ka-ka laughs as if mocking him. As Yun Chen crossed the root-filled dirt path, he muttered, a normal growth ability. Only catalyzes plants to grow faster, making them bigger and stronger. But mine is different. On top of its original foundation, it also has a special parasitic effect. As long as they are pierced by these plants, their bodies will become nutrients, their life force even drained completely. Those monsters probably never expected to be drained so thoroughly. On the screen, a close-up of Yun Chen's move was shown. A voice rang out, "This kid's nature system skill is even better than a first-generation drips." I couldn't even tell it was a primary skill. It's just as his profile said, his talent has evolved once. The old headmaster of the War Academy, Ye Yanfu, calmly remarked, "The second assessment stage is a test of perception. Everyone knows that when entering an unfamiliar environment, a lack of keen perception will lead to great difficulty. On a complex battlefield, poor perception can easily get you killed. It can even drag down teammates. There are countless skills that enhance perception. The Dark Assassin's Darkness, Perception, the Mechanical Engineer's Echolocation, the Mage's Mana Surge, and so on. But he chose Nature's Interaction, the most suitable skill for the situation. Truly excellent judgment." By now, Yun Chen had crossed the swamp area and the path ahead was much easier. Of course, there are countless ways to solve it, like that explosive mage who relied on destructive power to blow everything up, or the Blood Knight who charged straight through with his powerful attacks and thick hide. Yun Chen had now switched to a combat stance, scepter in hand, dashing across the ground. As he ran, he thought, the layout of this room is like a maze. With poor perception, it would be easy to get lost. Luckily, all the plants are my eyes and ears, so it's no obstacle at all. Yun Chen stopped before a monster holding a giant axe. He said calmly, "This is the entrance to the next combat room." That monster possessed a remarkably large and muscular physique. Its green skin stood out under the dim light. It crossed its arms tightly, gripping a large, sharp axe. It was snoring loudly, looking harmless, as if deep in a dream. But one cannot underestimate it by its appearance. This is a level 15 giant demon warrior chief with silver tier intelligence, possessing the skills Berserk Attack and War Cry. It groggily opened its eyes and mumbled, "Suddenly it feels so hot." Discovering Yun Chen, its eyes widened in astonishment. On the other side, Yun Chen raised his scepter, summoning a brilliant pink stream of light. Its explosive power could not be underestimated. The stream of light shot straight towards the giant demon warrior chief. Only the swing of its axe was seen as its body was engulfed in flames. When the smoke and fire cleared, it appeared in a pitiful state, hair disheveled and clothes tattered. It yelled, its voice echoing, This is the third combat room." Before its eyes was a room filled with ferocious giant demons. Leading them was a large one with glossy black skin sitting majestically on a throne. It panicked, fell to its knees, and pleaded desperately, Chieftain, I'm sorry I failed to guard the entrance properly. A despicable human ambushed me while I was sleeping and blasted me in here. Please don't kill me!" The giant demon chieftain, though angry, announced coldly, "I will spare you this once." The giant demon warrior chief quickly stood up, gripped its axe, and roared in fury. "Chieftain, I will now go and crush that human, to atone for my sin." Yun Chen suddenly appeared, his voice deep and cold. "Who do you want to crush?" His words startled the giant demon warrior chief, its eyes revealing clear fear. Van Thon drew closer and continued coldly, "If you want to atone, then let me lend you a hand." He swung his scepter down with a powerful blow, making the scene terrifying. The knight's basic skill, void-breaking slash, was unleashed. The giant demon warrior chief could only gape in stunned silence at its power. The giant demon chieftain on his throne could not sit still. He roared in fury, "You human! You dare kill my guard dog right in front of me, you deserve to die." He was a level 17 giant demon chieftain with golden intelligence, his skills still an unsolved mystery. Below, a group of level 15 giant demon brawlers possessed the skills Grab Bite and Accurate Throw. They were the chieftain's loyal guards who had harbored a thirst for close-range slaughter since they were young. There were also level 15 giant demon shamans who used poisonous smoke silence and mental frenzy. Despite being of the giant demon race, they still retained a strong ability to sense elements. After using his appraisal skill, Van Thon frowned slightly and muttered, This many of them won't be easy to deal with. And the boss is here too. This situation is worthy of me preparing a grand feast for you." He placed his scepter on the ground, and instantly pink light swirled out like a giant tornado. A giant demon chieftain charged down, swinging a massive axe straight at Van Thon. He put on a panicked expression. His face contorted, his body trembling wretchedly, his mouth stammering as if in extreme fear. The giant demon chieftain sneered threateningly. "You want to beg for mercy now?" Too late, he slammed his axe to the ground, roaring in fury, "Die!" But when he looked over, he was stunned. "Damn it, how are you still alive? You must have used a clone skill, right? But so what? However many clones you have, I'll kill them all." He lifted his 1,000-pound axe and smashed it down where Van Thon stood cursing relentlessly, "Die. Die, die, just die." But the more he lost his composure, the more his swings missed. Van then easily dodged every move, having split into 3 clones standing tall before the exhausted chieftain. He stopped out of strength to attack a pink beam of light from Van Thon's scepter, shot straight into his head, making him scream miserably. A giant demon shaman recognized the move and roared. "Fire-type magic, a wizard like you isn't half bad. I didn't expect you to have mastered other magics besides dark magic. After we kill this human, I'll make you a captain." He charged forward to attack Van Thon with his own weapon, laughing triumphantly as if victory was already his. "Let's kill, kill, kill with me!" The giant demon shaman minions also erupted in familiar blazing pink flames. Van Thon collapsed to the ground. At this moment, the giant demon chieftain, holding a double-headed axe, spoke in a ghastly voice. "Ha ha ha. You're the only one left. You must be the real body. I can finally kill you now. Ha ha ha!" But as Van Thon's form distorted along with the hideous laughter, he noticed something unusual. What a cluster of pinkish-red rays shot down in front of him, leaving him stunned. Van Thon had appeared behind him, flickering in and out of sight, leaving his opponent no time to react. He smiled, as expected of a boss. "I thought I could trick you for a bit longer. I can't believe it's starting to recover. Luckily, you helped me save quite a bit of energy." The giant demon chieftain was stunned. "Well, what?" The spectators watching on screen were just as astonished, buzzing with discussion. What is going on? The giant demon chieftain killed all his own minions and even watched as Van Thon used Fireball to blow up the other giant demons. Principal Lian Hak-hien of the Elemental Academy chuckled softly, "Ho-ho," because it was hit by the Onmyoji's basic skill Soul Bewitchment Curse. Onmyoji is a unique class from the Fusang Kingdom that can disrupt a target's mind, making everything they see and hear turn into illusions. Of course, a normal Soul Bewitchment Curse cannot enchant a higher-level target, but he used his talent to upgrade the skill's quality, creating such an effect. Moreover, he deliberately killed the giant demon warrior chief in front of the chieftain to provoke his emotions, increasing the enchantment success rate. After hearing this, everyone was stunned in admiration. They had never thought of such a profound strategy. He truly is a terrifying student, but once the giant demon chieftain's illusion is broken, he won't be easily fooled by the same skill again. How will Van Thon handle it next? A sobered giant demon chieftain charged forward, furiously roaring, "Despicable human, go die." He charged forward, seething with his weapon, not noticing an explosive trap Van Thon had prepared. As soon as he stepped on it, a beeping sound rang out, and the bomb detonated with terrifying, destructive power. Under the rubble, the chieftain still screamed, "I'll kill you." But Van Thon just smiled lightly. "I prepared quite a few things while you were enchanted. Can you really charge all the way to me?" As the chieftain tried to approach, he continuously fell into traps. The Onmyoji's basic skill, Lightning Guide, summoned lightning to strike him into a daze. The wizard's basic skill, Bone Spike, pierced and broke his bones. The mage's basic skill, Rockfall, made rocks fall and break his head. The engineer's basic skill, Explosive Ordnance, burned him to a crisp. After much effort, the chieftain finally reached Van Thon. He panted heavily, mustering his strength, and stammered, Did I die?" Van Thon was nonchalant, as if unconcerned, as expected of the final boss to be able to struggle all the way here very strong. Hearing this, the chieftain erupted in a furious rage. "Go die." Van Thon calmly stepped forward, his voice even but full of power. "Unfortunately, the one you're facing is just a clone of mine." He unleashed a move, the knight's basic skill, void-breaking / razor-sharp serrated blades tore through the air and rushed forward, dicing the giant demon chieftain into countless pieces. The battle's conclusion seemed to have been decided. The system immediately announced, "Congratulations, student Van Thon, for clearing the giant demon's lair dungeon on nightmare difficulty. Completion time, 11 minutes and 43 seconds. Your achievement has been recorded by the assistant. Please accept the clearing reward." The observers breathed a sigh of relief, unable to hide their admiration. Whew, what an outstanding student! Trap-setting skills require a high level of proficiency that ordinary people find difficult to master. Many even consider them useless, yet he uses them with such expertise. "It has truly opened my eyes." Principal Lian Hak-hien of the Elemental Academy stroked his beard and smiled. "Ho ho, the fastest of the others have only just dealt with the small monsters in the final boss room. They're just starting to confront the giant demon chieftain in the early stages of the instance, while Van Thon has already secured the fastest time, #1," said the principal of the Ice Mountain Weapon Academy. The Empress Hakin Thon spoke, her voice cold, but unable to hide her interest. "That's right. To think that the Weapon Academy is about to get such an elite new student, I can't help but look forward to it." Old man Lian Hak-hien immediately interrupted, his voice full of challenge. "Ho ho, Principal Ha. My war academy won't give him up so easily either. The two faced each other, their gazes sparking like fire, neither willing to back down. The surrounding teachers witnessing this scene were simply speechless. Van Thon hasn't even left the combat room, and they've already started fighting over him. They sure move fast. I wonder who Van Thon will choose. Inside the combat room, Van Thon still stood there. His gaze swept over the giant demon chieftain's corpse. The system announced, based on the difficulty and clear time, you have received an SSS-Rank evaluation. Congratulations on being the first to be recorded by the system. Won a reward of 21,350 experience points, 25 free attribute points, and 15 skill points. 2 congratulations on receiving the Golden Storm Kite. 3 congratulations on receiving the title Giant Demon Ender. Increases damage to the giant demon race by 35%. Van Thon was thrilled. The feeling of leveling up 3 times in a row is so refreshing. The system continued, as you are the first to clear this dungeon. You have unlocked your first talent achievement. Please choose one of the following 3. 1 Twin Spell A rank. When casting a spell, activate it twice for double the effect. 2 Power Strike Aura. A rank attack speed increased by 30%. Every third strike deals 80% increased damage. 3 Frenzied Onslaught A rank when attacking the same target. Each strike increases attack speed by 4%, stacking infinitely. Van Thon pondered thoughtfully. It's another choose one of 3 new talents. Power Strike Aura also appeared last time when I broke the college entrance exam record. If it has appeared twice, then I'll choose Twin Spell. This one seems more useful. He pressed the teleportation rune button on the wall, and a bright light immediately flashed. The skill was engraved on his forehead. System confirmed you have received the Twin Spell talent. A rank. After receiving the reward, Van Thon walked away leisurely. Leaving the giant demon chieftain's corpse behind, after walking for a while, he suddenly saw a huge mysterious object appear before him like a swirling mass of clouds from it. A large panel appeared spinning like a vortex. Van Thon frowned, wondering, I've clearly cleared the dungeon, so why has a new path appeared that's not in the records? After a moment of thought, he realized this is the hidden stage. I've only heard about it before. This is the first time I've seen it with my own eyes. Rumor has it that after clearing a dungeon in the Holy Land, if special conditions are met, there is a low probability that a hidden floor will appear. Players can freely enter to face extremely dangerous, unique monsters. But the rewards are generous. Since it's not an official stage, this outpost doesn't affect the evaluation score or records. Without hesitation, Van Thon moved forward. This is truly something unexpected. It won't affect my score anyway, and I still have plenty of energy left, so I might as well go in and see. The gate on the other side swung open, and Tuyet Huang Pong landed in a modern square with a large clock tower in front of him. He looked around, but there wasn't a single person in sight. Am I the first one out of the battle room? He laughed smugly. Ha ha, I told you so. If Van Thon hadn't cheated, I would have been the valedictorian of Jiangnam province. I've finally reclaimed my glory and put him in his place. Ha ha ha. He glanced at another student who had just appeared. Congratulations on placing in the top 2. If you were 1 second faster, you might have surpassed me. Go ahead and wear your number 1 crown. He calmly walked over and replied nonchalantly, Isn't number 1 supposed to be Van Thon? I even considered him a worthy rival, but it seems the path of the jobless doesn't lead far. His glory was just fleeting. The surrounding people who heard this burst into crazy laughter. Ha ha, Van, then isn't even in the top 10. The principal's judgment was wrong after all. He was just a valedictorian who got in through the back door. How could he have gotten number 1? A jobless person is truly useless, Depthon. Lin keenly noticed something and pointed at the screen. Oh, isn't that Van Thon? His battle room looks different from ours indeed. On the screen, Van Thon was standing before a strange gate. The crowd started buzzing. A hidden stage. I can't believe he cleared the trial long ago and even entered a hidden stage. Damn it, how can this be? Those in the top 10 were in an uproar, their faces filled with discontent. That bastard, he must have cheated. I don't believe a jobless person could be that fast. Principal Lian Hak Hien spoke up in a calm voice. Everyone be quiet, sit still, and wait for the results. No more noise. But just as everyone was focused on watching the screen, it suddenly went black, startling and annoying the crowd, huh? Why did the screen turn off? Is it broken? What the hell is this? Old man Lian Hak Hien chuckled lightly, stroking his beard. I didn't expect him to activate the hidden stage. This isn't suitable for you all to see. In the hidden stage's space, Van Thon stood alone. The room was empty, with only a cold floor of grayish-brown tiles in a corner. A striking crimson scarecrow stood tall. Van Thon muttered, the space in this room isn't large. There are no monsters other than this scarecrow. Could it be my opponent? The scarecrow was named Cursed Scarecrow Monster Level 1 Intelligence Unknown. Note, no one knows where it appears, but encountering it is certainly not a good thing. Van Thon used his appraisal skill to observe it carefully. Level 1. Am I seeing things? No, this monster is very strange. I must be careful. The cursed scarecrow turned its hat towards Van Thon, making an unusual gesture as if about to attack. Van Thon didn't flinch, raising his scepter and forming an X with his two hands to defend. He spoke cautiously. It seems I must attack first. I'll summon a water element to probe its true nature. The scarecrow suddenly lifted off the ground and flew up, its soulless eyes aimed straight at him. Van Thon swung his scepter, ready for battle. In just an instant, the cursed scarecrow monster closed in with terrifying speed. Van Thon silently assessed it so fast. A faint silhouette flickered on the scarecrow's body. It unleashed the skill lightning flash. A dazzling white vortex erupted and shot towards him as the scarecrow swung its arm made of dry twigs. It created a powerful vortex that propelled the strange object straight at Van Thon. With his quick reflexes, Van Thon dodged it, leaving behind a humorous remark, "How stupid." I almost couldn't dodge that. But at that very moment, something unexpected happened on the scarecrow's neck. A few thin strands of Van Thon's hair were visible. He exclaimed in shock, "That's my hair. Could it be its goal was never to attack me, but to take my hair instead?" After embedding his hair into its neck, the scarecrow suddenly underwent a strange transformation. Its body tensed up and streams of crimson energy erupted from all over, looking incredibly terrifying. Van Thon was losing patience with this soulless scarecrow. Ignoring the enemy's bizarre tricks, he decided to end it quickly. He jumped and executed Gale Step, the first skill of a pugilist, then unleashed Flame Fist, aimed directly at the scarecrow. A blinding stream of fire erupted, aiming for the cursed scarecrow's head. Instantly, its entire body became a raging inferno, and the flames suddenly expanded, throwing Van Thon back. Staggering to his feet, he wondered in amazement, "Is this my Flame Fist? How could I be attacked by my own Flame Fist? Was that a counterattack? No, that's not it. The scarecrow also took damage, so it wasn't a counter. Moreover, it's taken my form, and its name is Cursed Scarecrow." The scorched scarecrow looked pathetic, but its body now faintly resembled Van Thon. He was starting to realize something. Just then, the scarecrow suddenly slammed its head into the wall. Van Thon was immediately knocked backward with blood spurting from his mouth. All the damage the scarecrow sustained was transferred directly to him. Van Thon rushed forward, trying to stop it. "I can't attack it, but I also can't let it harm itself." The scarecrow kicked the wall hard. Van Thon collapsed in pain. He grimaced and cried out, "Oh, that hurts so much." Lying on the ground, he clutched his scepter and summoned vines, which shot up rapidly. The vines wrapped tightly around the cursed scarecrow, but it still managed to punch the wall hard, creating a dark hole. Its hand was bleeding, and Van Thon had to grit his teeth and endure that pain. Leaning back and clutching his aching arm despite the pain, Van Thon remained clear-headed enough to analyze the situation. Thanks to that hit, I now understand the problem. So that's how it is. It's not as formidable as I thought. On the screen, the image of Van Thon appeared covered in wounds, but he still exuded a powerful aura, his handsome looks completely undiminished. His eyes flashed with a dangerous and resolute light despite his injuries. His spirit and will to fight remained unshaken. The old principal Diepen Puck leaned on his staff and smiled, heh. The kid's gotten himself into a tough fight now. Ha-Keen Thon, the Ice Queen and Dean of the Weapons Academy, remarked sharply, "The cursed scarecrow is indeed a tough opponent, but it probably won't be enough to stop him." Diepen Puck glanced over curiously. "Oh, Dean, why do you say that?" She replied decisively. His expression has been calm from beginning to end, and there isn't even a hint of panic in his eyes. With that mentality, he can overcome any challenge, any difficult challenge at all. After a period of struggle, Van Thon finally found the answer. Sitting on the floor, he looked up at the battered scarecrow, his uninjured hand holding his wounded arm. He said aloud, "So that's how it is. You almost had me fooled. It seems I completely misjudged your skill. You didn't actually bind your life to mine. Instead, all the damage you supposedly take is transferred to me, and you just pretend to be hurt. As if you're the one taking the damage? Just like this." As he spoke, he cast a cleric's healing spell on the bleeding wound on the back of his hand. "You're just a level 1 monster after all. Your health points can't possibly compare to a level 16 like me. The recovery from my healing spell would be more than enough to heal any wounds on your body. But you only recovered your hand. Don't tell me you copied all of my attributes. That's even more impossible. Because with my strength and defense attributes, if I punch the wall with a single fist, the only thing that would break is the wall. You wouldn't get injured on your fist like you did, which means you never copied my attributes at all." As he spoke, he lightly tapped the nearby wall with his elbow. The wall immediately caved in, leaving a serious hole. The exposed cursed scarecrow clutched its arm in pain as the sound of cracking bones rang out. Van Thon raised a hand to pause and then continued. It seems the condition is mutual. Any damage that the two of us take gets transferred to the other person. You were afraid I would discover this. That's why you chose to fake your injuries. The broken wall smoldered. Yes, Van Thon continued as he summoned a crimson flame, so the question is, if my stats are higher than yours, then if I harm myself, I wonder if you can withstand that same damage. Having said that, he struck his own chest with the flame. With just that one light touch, the cursed scarecrow instantly turned crimson, its body shattering bone by bone. The sound of cracking echoed through the room as it crumbled to dust. Van Thon breathed a sigh of relief. Luckily, you were only level 1. If you were the same level as me, or even higher, it wouldn't have been this easy to handle. The scarecrow's remains transformed into a tiny item, Van Thon's reward for victory. Item Cursed Scarecrow, type Conceptual, single use. Wrap the target's hair around the scarecrow's neck, and all damage the scarecrow receives will be transferred to the target, effective at all levels. Van Thon held the item and marveled, what a terrifying item. As if I'll have the leisure to use this when the time comes. A hot-tempered bald guy who looked like Satan roared, "Of course we've been waiting for you." This bastard, another calmer person explained, only when all the students have left the battle rooms. Can the next phase begin? Now hurry up and get back to the group. Van Thon finally understood their anger. He rushed back to the group, muttering, "Oh." He thought to himself, I cleared the 6th trial. I should have been the first one to pass. But the system mission is still not complete. Does this mean the competition among the new students isn't over yet? The old principal Diepan Puk stepped forward, leaning on his staff, his voice clear this competition. Among all of you, there is someone who doesn't deserve their rank. It's just an empty title gained by secretly knowing the battle room information in advance to prepare thoroughly, the students below murmured. Who are they talking about? I wonder, it must be someone with connections. Only they would have the money to pull something like this. Tiet Huang Fong's face darkened as he thought, how did this old geezer find out? Seeing the noisy crowd, Diepan Puk slammed his staff on the ground, his beard and hair trembling with the impact, and boomed, "Silence, therefore, to test your true strength and determine the rankings. Next up will be one-on-one duels." The students felt like they were struck by lightning, groaning wearily. What kind of skill is this, creating an arena out of thin air? Oh my god, I've never heard of anything like it. It must be a divine-level skill. Diepan Puk shouted, "The rules are very simple. You can challenge anyone you wish if you win. You will take your opponent's rank, and their academic credits. Challenges cannot be refused. So fight with all your strength and heroic spirit." The freshmen all raised their fists in unison. They let out a determined roar, then jumped up one after another, shouting at each other, "Damn it, I've had my eye on that guy for a long time. His strength is nothing compared to mine. On what basis is he ranked higher than me? I have to challenge him. If he's got any guts, he'll get on the stage, and that other bastard too. He's nothing without his gear, just a potion-chugging punk, and he dares to challenge me." Van Thon stood there calmly analyzing the situation. So that's how it is. No wonder the system's mission isn't complete yet. So many people find me an eyesore. It seems things are about to get very lively. He stood proudly, clutching his scepter, his voice ringing with challenge. "You've been holding back for so long. Now your chance has finally come. If you want to take this top 1 spot from me, then come on up." As soon as he finished speaking, the students below erupted, jumping onto the stage with loud thuds. A few angry guys yelled out, "Teacher, I want to challenge the biggest opponent, Van Than, the top one. I challenge Van Than." Van Than waved his hand dismissively as if to mock them. "Fighting you one by one is too troublesome. Both of you can come at me at once." The two challengers' faces turned purple with rage as they shouted, "Fine by us. You're the one who said it. Looks like we need to teach him a lesson. Let's show him the price of arrogance." Both of them immediately charged forward, one unleashing Blazing Pierce, the other using Storm's Grasp. Van then just casually uttered a single phrase, too slow. He moved slightly and unleashed the basic Fire Mage skill, Fire Stomp. Instantly, the ground beneath his feet cracked and shattered into pieces. Nearby, Tiet Huang Pong hurriedly summoned a shield to protect himself. A thick white smoke erupted, obscuring the area, making it impossible to see clearly. The students watching from the cliffside exclaimed in amazement. If the teacher hadn't acted in time, we would have been caught in it too. Another person pointed at the cloud of smoke, stunned. "My god, is that the power of Fire Stomp? Are you telling me that's a basic Fire Mage skill?" Another student pointed forward. "Look, they fainted through the smoke." The two challengers, one with a bald head and one in black, had collapsed by a large rock. Only Van Thon remained standing, his figure imposing amidst the clearing smoke. When the smoke dissipated, he turned and asked in a cold voice, "Do you still want to fight?" One student standing behind hurriedly raised his hand to intervene, panicked. No need, they can't possibly fight anymore. You win this match inside his head. This person thought this guy is both strong and ruthless. Please don't kill anyone. Van Than stood tall, his voice echoing, does anyone else want to fight me? The students below witnessed his power and all hesitated, only mumbling amongst themselves with no one answering. A spiky-haired young man ventured to speak up the fire stomp skill. Although it can deal damage and stun simultaneously, the effectiveness of the stun and damage depends entirely on the user's strength attribute. Another person added sharply to be able to stun a mage and a warrior at the same time for that long. Just how high must his strength attribute be? Another voice chimed in, oh my god, it's truly unimaginable. He's basically a monster. The others also started chattering. Could it be that the big shot the dean mentioned wasn't him then? Who could it be? Hearing this, Tiet Huang Fong's face darkened. He thought to himself, no wonder he was ranked top 1. He's truly terrifyingly strong. I doubt anyone else will dare to challenge him, but suddenly someone stepped forward. I'll fight you. It was Tan Tai Nien, the top student of Daizhou Province, ranked 3rd, who possesses the legendary hidden class Blood Knight. But before he could finish, a girl with magnificent platinum blonde hair appeared. Her voice was sharp. I challenge you. The crowd buzzed. Who is that girl? She's so beautiful among the elves, she'd definitely be considered a great beauty. That's the top student of Tianda Province, ranked 5th, the elf swordswoman Nico. She's no ordinary elf, she's a noble silver moon elf. Her innate attribute values are already much stronger than ours. One other person added, I also heard her awakened talent is S-Rank, then Tai Nien angrily cut in. I was first, Nico refused to yield. No, I was... Van Than just replied flatly, you can both come up at the same time. Once you've decided, come on up. Then Tai Nien furiously drew his sharp blade and his pinkish-purple shield, jumping into the arena and roaring, Humph, I alone am enough to defeat you from a distance. Old Deepan Fook smiled approvingly. A high-level class versus a basic class, this will truly be a match worth watching. The match began. Tan Tai Nien swung his giant greatsword and executed Blood Shadow Assault, charging straight at Van Than. A brilliant explosion erupted in a blinding red light. The students below pointed in astonishment. My god, that attack is so powerful. Even the protective energy barrier of the arena is about to crack. Is this the power of a high-level hidden class? But surprisingly, Van Than stood firm, completely unharmed, having dodged the blow with ease. The arena's protective wall was cracked. He held his demonic formation-breaking scepter, his sharp eyes sizing up his opponent. The shoulder holding the shield is slightly lower. The arm holding the spear maintains balance. His center of gravity is precise without a single opening. This knight's footwork is textbook perfect. Van Than smirked. He's so meticulous it's almost robotic. Truly an utterly rigid guy. Tan Tai Nien raised his shield to block the attack, gloating smugly. So what if it's a B-grade fireball? It's not nearly enough to break my defense. Van Than swung his scepter, a red flame igniting as he asked coldly, you think you can deal with me just by hiding in that turtle shell? Instantly, green tentacles from the battle tentacles skill erupted and bound Tan Tai Nien tightly. He didn't flinch, roaring, so what if you've tied me up? Those basic skills of yours can't possibly harm me, but Van Than didn't give him time to react, swinging his scepter to cast another spell growth. Tan Tai Nien gritted his teeth, feeling a bone-deep pain, and screamed, damn it, this type of plant can actually pierce through my armor and directly drain my life force. He thought to himself, I can't hold on like this, I'll be drained dry. He unleashed blood flame, destroying the tentacles. Van Than said coldly, you want to burn away those vines. In your dreams, he immediately cast B-plus grade Aqua Blast. A giant pillar of water crashed down, drenching Tan Tai Nien completely. The students below were horrified. Damn. You call that an Aqua Blast? Whose family's Aqua Blast is this huge? This is practically a small waterfall. Van Than braced his scepter and charged towards Tan Tai Nien, unleashing the spearman's thrust skill. Then Tai Nien was restrained by the tentacles, watching helplessly as Van Than approached. The blood flame was extinguished, and the watered plants are growing even faster. Now I can't move at all. He gritted his teeth. Damn it, I didn't want to use those moves, but I don't have a choice anymore. He cast Blood Shift, disappearing from the tentacles and reappearing behind Van Than with his sharp weapon, roaring, hey. I refuse to believe you can block this move, too. He unleashed Blood Shadow Assault, his final trump card, but Van Than was already waiting, blocking the greatsword with his foot, and said nonchalantly, I was waiting for you to use that. He swung his scepter, using the basic spearman skill sweep, and smashed it right into Tan Tai Nien's face. The terrifying force sent him flying, but Tan Tai Nien quickly got back up. He roared, damn it, that was just a lucky shot. You can dream on if you think you'll hit me again. Before he could finish his words, a red dagger was pressed against his neck. Silencing him, Van Than whispered softly, his voice as light as a feather in the wind, while the dagger remained at Tan Tai Nien's throat. It's over. He had just used the basic assassin skill stealth technique, leaving Thon Tai Nien no time to react. Seeing the situation was decided, then Tai Nien could only raise both hands in surrender, sighing in frustration. "Yeah, I surrender." The announcer stepped forward, his voice booming to declare the winner. Van Than Thon Tai Nien's 2,000 academic credits now belonged to Van Thon. The students below erupted in cheers. Wow, what a smooth series of moves. Everything was calculated. Van Tai Nien was led by the nose the whole match. "So cool, Brother Van is too strong. What Brother Van, we should call him God Van Than. I heard that's his nickname back in his hometown." The old man, Depan Puk, stroked his beard and smiled in satisfaction. "I have to say that Thon Tai Nien is an excellent student. No one has ever absorbed the textbooks as thoroughly as him. But unfortunately, even the textbooks couldn't teach him how to deal with a jobless one." At that moment, Nico landed gracefully on the arena floor. Her steely voice rang out, "You are indeed a formidable opponent, but you only managed to defeat Thon Tai Nien because you had the advantage in speed. Against me, that advantage of yours will be useless." Van Thon paid no mind to the provocation, simply smirking as he replied, "We'll know who's stronger after we fight." The teenagers below looked up in awe. A jobless one versus a Silver Moon elf. Bloodline a mortal versus the Silver Moon bloodline. The gap is enormous. But that's Brother Van. He just defeated the Blood Knight. It's really hard to say who's stronger. Facing Nico, Van Thon stood his ground with an extraordinary presence. She spoke first. "You just fought a match and increased your weapon's attack range. That's the first time I've ever seen that." Without stopping, Nico unleashed 3 consecutive slashes, shimmering with blue light aimed directly at Van Thon. The crowd below stared wide-eyed at the slash marks reflecting off the protective sphere. They were stunned at some incredible destructive power. As expected of a high-ranking elf clan, Van Thon can only dodge. Someone else added, "The Silver Moon elf bloodline is very special. It gets stronger and stronger in the later stages. Compared to that, a jobless one becomes nothing later on." "Don't be so quick to judge. Let's just see if that Silver Moon elf can even hit Brother Van after 4 of her slashes missed." Nico turned back, her voice filled with arrogance. "Since you were able to dodge every single slash, your agility must be truly high." "But so what?" Her eyes flashed with a dangerous light. "The arena space is limited as long as my attack range is wide enough." With that, she swung her giant sword and yelled, "Full power activation, Silver Moon glow." But Van Thon stood still without wavering at all. Suddenly, he dashed towards Nico, causing her to think to herself, "It seems he's very wary of my speed, so he's thought of every way to limit it. But if you only focus on increasing your attack range, then your weakness has already been exposed." Nico immediately swung her sword to use Moon Slash, but Van Thon leaned back to dodge it, retracting the move and switching to a basic Divine Marksman skill Quickshot. He quickly switched his weapon to the Platinum Twin Eagle pistols, the weapon he had spent money on before enrolling. Nico thought for a moment, dual pistols and with such low stats. Could it be that his goal isn't to attack but to distract me, his target? I've fallen for it. There's no time to defend. Her face darkened. Van Than said coldly, "So what if your attack range is wide? Once I close the distance, you'll struggle to defend yourself. You'll be nothing but a target." He immediately used the basic assassin skill, Throat Slit. Nico instantly retaliated. "As expected, you chose to close in. It seems I made the right bet," but suddenly Van Thon was flung backwards. The pain was so intense he could only let out a grunt. Nico swiftly activated her bloodline's secret art, Silver Moonlight. After the move, she panted heavily, thinking to herself, even though this secret art has a massive energy cost, I can only use it once, but it was worth it. She drew her bow and aimed at Van Thon from a distance, convinced that he was paralyzed and couldn't dodge, but as the arrow flew towards him, his figure vanished, leaving only an illusory shadow behind. Suddenly, a sword was pressed against Nico's neck. Van Thon's voice spoke up. "It seems you had a lot of fun playing with my clone." Nico was stunned. "When did you—" He replied, "The moment you blocked my attack. Your focus was entirely on the bullet after all. With your defenses, you wouldn't dare to take a bullet head-on, would you?" He continued lightly, "If I wanted to close in for a direct assault, a fire mage's skills would have been more suitable. But I chose the assassin class because my clone can only use assassin skills. You're still too green to play mind games with me." Nico collapsed trembling as she realized the outcome of the match. The announcer shouted, "Van Thon is the winner." Nico's 1,500 academic credits now belonged to Van Than. Nico sat slumped on the ground, her face in her hands, and whispered weakly, "I lost." The students below erupted in an uproar. "Wow, Brother Van is way too strong. That skill combo was absolutely perfect from now on. I'm his fan. Brother Van is unbeatable." Nico's eyes welled with tears as she spoke in a soft voice. "I've lived this long, and this is the first time I've ever lost to a peer. I can't accept it. I just can't. I will definitely win next time." The watching instructors remarked, "This girl may not be on Van Thon's level." but she's not bad at all. She dares to fight and dares to take risks. I want this kid. It's like they're all fighting over her. Another person suggested Dean perhaps we should still advise Van Than to change his class. Such a promising talent. It would be a real pity for him to have no future. That's right, let him choose any of the Academy's hidden classes. Diep and Phuc replied coldly, "Do not bring this up again. It all depends on his own will. Perhaps he will be able to forge a path that is one of a kind." Van Than sighed. "I'm getting tired of fighting one after another like this. 5 of you, 10 of you, it doesn't matter. If you want to challenge me, then all of you come at me at once. I want to get this over with." The crowd immediately surged forward. "That brat is so arrogant. After fighting 2 top-ranked students in a row, I don't believe you still have any stamina left. Your academic credits are as good as mine. We'll teach you the consequences of your arrogance." Van Than coolly uttered a single phrase. Tactical flash, a brilliant light exploded outwards, forcing the crowd to shield their eyes and scream. "My eyes hurt so much. What the hell is this? It's blinding." What a dirty trick. Immediately, streaks of crimson light shot towards them. Getting hit, they could only scream, "Ah, it hurts so much, it's burning hot. Damn it, I can't see a thing." Before them was a sea of flames. A crimson explosion left them all injured and scattered across the rubble, constantly pleading, "Please, we beg you, stop fighting." "Brother Van, I was wrong. I surrender, I surrender." Van Than stood there casually and said, "It's much quieter now." In the history of Jiangnan University, and even the entire Xuanlong nation, there had never been a student who could single-handedly fight against everyone else, but today a miracle happened. With top-tier attributes, a vast and powerful arsenal of skills, calm judgment, perfect weaponry, and masterful combat prowess, Van Than embodied all the elements of the truly strong. An ordinary person would be considered outstanding for possessing just one of these traits, but he had them all when the gap between individuals becomes too vast. Emotions like jealousy, admiration, inferiority, or resentment simply fade away. All that remains is worship or blind adoration. A man in black looked up at Van, then his eyes filled with defiance. He's ranked number 1, not because his strength is at the level of number 1, but simply because number 1 is the highest rank available. The crowd erupted into discussion. "Brother Van is truly worthy of being number 1. Van is so awesome. He is the strongest among us freshmen, even though the results haven't been officially announced. But number 1 is definitely Van Than. If we take Van Than out of the equation, who do you think will be number 2? The MC's voice boomed, breaking the lively atmosphere. "Next, we will announce the freshman rankings. Please direct your attention to the large screen." On the ranking board, Van Than stood proudly at the top, followed by Than Tai Nien in second place, Nico in third, and Diep Tan Lin in fourth. A series of other rankings followed. Drawing everyone's gaze, Van Than stood silently to the side and opened his system panel. A notification appeared. Achievement mission. Maintain the number 1 rank in the freshman competition. Status completed. Reward, S-rank skill. Lucky drink, S-rank skill. Invincibility. Invincibility grants immunity to all damage and control effects for 3 seconds. Lucky drink grants the highest level of luck for 24 hours after consumption. The corner of Van Than's mouth curved up, his eyes twinkling. Invincibility. These are all god-tier life-saving skills. It's as if this system is afraid something bad will happen to me. The lucky drink isn't bad either. It could be very useful if used at the right time. Suddenly a shout came from the audience. Look, Tuyet Huang Pong, who was originally number 2, has dropped all the way to 26. That's a huge drop, isn't it? A blonde-haired person next to him chuckled. "So he's the big shot the dean was talking about, huh?" The other person continued. "I watched his match, too. First, he was defeated by Than Tai Nien. Don't be fooled by how clueless Than Tai Nien looked against Brother Van. When he fought Tuyet Huang Pong, he was like a god of war. Everyone saw his reputation was well-deserved. So everyone started challenging him one after another. Diep and Phuc stood up high, his authoritative voice echoing the ranking competition hereby concludes. Whether you are satisfied with the results or not, you must adjust your attitudes and accept reality. Next is the phase of school assignment. Our War Academy values decisive action, using war to end war. If you're not prepared for bloodshed and ready for the front lines at any moment, then choose another path, the students murmured among themselves. The Comprehensive War Academy is the most powerful. But you're easily sent to the battlefield. That was only in the past. Now the Weapons Academy has a new dean. The Ice Mountain Queen, Hakeem Than. Just looking at her makes me tremble. I heard last year she forgot to retract her killing intent and made several new students faint. How could someone who has been on the battlefield and killed a demon lord become a teacher? Van Than looked up at Hakeem Than, thinking to himself, the Academy records state. She is the youngest dean in history. At 27 years old, she fought for 8 years, is a 3rd class, and once defeated a legendary 9th class. She even slayed a demon lord. Hakin Than walked up to Van Than and invited him in a deep voice. Van Than, come to my weapons academy. The crowd's jaws dropped. What? She's already poaching students so quickly. And so openly, too. As expected from someone who has been to the battlefield, she acts so directly. I heard she has never fought over a student since starting her career, yet this year she makes a move. Diepanfuk chuckled with amusement. Van Than, you are the first new student to come to the War Academy. I will take you as my personal disciple and gift you 3 A-rank skill books. Lien Hak Hien cut in old deep, only 3 A-rank books. How stingy, Van Than, come to the Elemental Academy. I will provide you with a full supply of potions, magical ingredients, and a set of diamond armor. The crowd was in awe. Oh my God, as expected of a mage, they truly are a money-burning class. The resources a 4th-class mage Dean holds are terrifying. Are they trying to buy Brother Van with money? Diep. And Fuch's face darkened as he thought this old Lien is too well prepared. He's throwing around even more money than I am amidst the enticing offers. Van Than pondered. Both academies want me badly. This is a hard choice. Suddenly, he felt an obscure aura. Diep Anpuk and Lien Hak Hien exclaimed simultaneously. This presence, could it be? Hakin Than held an essence crystal and said coldly, Demon Lord's essence. Come with me. Looking at the item in her hand, Van Than recognized it as the Demon Lord's essence, rumored to come from the rift of an S+ rank divine artifact. Nico was astonished. I heard there's only one way to obtain it. It's refined from the body of a Demon Lord. The legend that Dean Ha once killed a Demon Lord, could it be true? Another girl shrugged. A Demon Lord's essence provides a superior physical enhancement. Each time you level up, you receive additional attribute points and skills up to level 70. There's even a chance to acquire the original Demon Lord's innate bloodline. Deep in Fuck's side. This girl really knows how to play her cards. An offer like this. Forget the students, even the instructors are jealous. Lien Hak Hien nodded. A Demon Lord's essence is not something money can buy. Van Than mused, the academies are competing because the achievements of top students help them secure more resources, but Hakin Than has never cared about such things. Even her leaving the battlefield to teach is a mystery. Now she has chosen me and made an irresistible offer. There is no reason to refuse, he said decisively. I choose the Weapons Academy. Hakin Than's lips curled into a satisfied smile after the recruitment battle. Nico curiously asked Van Than when he saw him standing nearby. You're here too. Were you also summoned by Dean Ha like me? Van Than simply replied. Ain't you? Nico was stunned, thinking to himself, that's it, just one word. Is this guy's mouth made of stone? He can't even be bothered to say another word as cold as an iceberg. How did I lose to him? An attendant of Hakin Than stepped forward, breaking the silence. You have been waiting a while. You are both students chosen and personally taught by the dean. You two should get closer from now on. Now let's head to the main location. She waved her hand, creating a teleportation portal beneath Van Than and Nico. In an instant, they appeared in a completely different space. The guide led them into a room displaying a giant dinosaur skeleton. Nico marveled at the surrounding treasures. My God, so many magical beast remains. And a pile of treasures with no two alike. This isn't a treasury, it's a museum, Van Than observed quietly, thinking, if all these spoils of war belong to Dean Ha alone, then she might be the strongest person I've ever seen, even surpassing the powerful figures on television. Hakin Than, sitting on a red chair in the middle of the room, snapped her notebook shut upon their arrival. She spoke, you've arrived, Van Than, and Nico bowed their heads and greeted in unison, hello, Dean. She looked at Nico and said, Kaya Nico is an elf, making him suitable for your tutelage. Take a natural elixir from the treasury and lead him to feel the breath of nature. Kaya nodded, understood. She called to Nico, follow me. Nico tagged along behind her. Now only Van Than and Hakin Than remained in the room under the dim light. Hakin Than glanced at Van Than. Her voice was deep and warm, yet full of authority. Van Than, as for you, she gently extended her hand. In her palm lay a strangely glittering essence. Prepare to absorb this Demon Lord's essence. Yes, Van Than stared intently at the essence, his gaze wavering for a moment before he spoke. Before I absorb it, I have a question. He hesitated, his mind filled with doubt about the rumor that she had personally slain a Demon Lord to obtain this. Hakin Than nodded, her gaze as sharp as if it could pierce any mystery. That's right. It is the essence from the remains refined by a god-level alchemist. I obtained this Demon Lord's essence only after personally slaying the Dark Knight Demoness. She paused, her voice lowering as if pulling him into a deep secret. As for Demon Lords, I'm afraid your textbooks don't mention them, so I will explain it to you clearly, so that you can understand the true nature of this world, and who our true enemy is. Van Thon's eyes widened, his chest rising and falling in surprise. The truth of the world, the enemy. You mean our enemies aren't the monsters, the ones that appear in the game. Hakin Thon frowned slightly, her voice low as if echoing from afar. Monsters are just one part of it. 75 years ago, the world and the game merged, giving rise to many races such as beastkin, dwarves, elves, giants, and demonkin while tracing their origins. It turned out they were simply players who had chosen different races. In essence, they are still humans born into this world. She paused, her gaze sharpening as if to etch her words into his mind. Beyond this world, there exists another. We call it the Dark World. The Dark World is filled with demonic spawn. They invade our world through spatial rifts and have gradually brought disaster upon us. The strongest among us are the fourth-class holders like the War God, Magic God, and Battle God. She continued in a steady yet heavy tone. The strongest among the demonic spawn are called Demon Lords. Currently, humanity's knowledge of Demon Lords is very limited. We only know they are extremely powerful, strategically equivalent to 2 fourth-class holders combined. Van Thon frowned, a glint of curiosity in his eyes. If Demon Lords are so powerful and mysterious, how did humanity discover a method to create it? The Demon Lord's essence. Hakin Thon smiled faintly, a hint of mystery in her eyes. The method was not devised by humans, it was obtained through sacrifice. To communicate with the creator gods, or you could call it a transaction, by sacrificing all valuable items, especially the demonic spawn hiding in the rifts. The game god's domain was created by the heavens. We humans are also creations of the heavens in turn. The heavens will respond with the formulation method for the Demon Lord's essence. It is a gift bestowed upon us. She continued, her voice gentle yet persuasive. Besides this item, various divine potions, hidden job classes, and divine equipment. And divine skills can all be obtained through item sacrifice. Van Thon's eyes widened, and he muttered in disbelief. Communicating with gods, sacrifice, a transaction, he thought to himself. This information has never been mentioned by anyone. You can't even find it online. Hakin Thon gently placed the Demon Lord's essence in his hand, her eyes filled with expectation. Are you ready now? Then you may consume this essence, whether or not you can obtain the innate bloodline of the Dark Knight Demoness. No one can say for sure, the probability is very low. It depends entirely on your own constitution. Yes, Van Thon clenched the essence in his hand, his voice trembling slightly. Dean, I would like to rest for 1 hour before I take it. Hakin Thon nodded slightly, her gaze softer than usual. Very well. You may go to my office to rest. Someone will prepare tea and snacks for you. I will come for you in 1 hour in the Weapons Academy Dean's office. Van Thon sat in silence, his gaze drifting around the room. Suddenly, a brilliant phoenix flew in and landed gently on the windowsill. He immediately used his appraisal skill, thinking to himself, this must be Dean Ha's contracted divine beast. But despite his efforts, he couldn't discern its level or quality. He sighed softly, a look of disappointment on his face. I can't even see its name. The power difference must be too great, huh, sir? A knock at the door interrupted his thoughts. Van Thon said softly, come in. The door opened. 2 beautiful girls entered, one carrying a tray of pastries and the other a teapot. They greeted in unison. Greetings, sir. As our master's honored guest, if you have any requests at all, please let us know. Yes, Van Thon replied awkwardly. Oh yes, he glanced at them and thought to himself, servants, and from the demonkin race too. This is the first time I've seen this. In the Black Dragon Kingdom, everyone is equal. Whether human or demi-human, unequal master-servant soul contracts are not allowed to exist. Except for magical beasts, the demi-human races of the Black Dragon Kingdom, or the demon descendants from the rifts. Yes, thinking this, he gently told the girls to go and rest first. If I need anything, I will call you. He watched them leave. Van Thon thought to himself, they must be demon kin, huh? As the door closed, he quietly took out a vial of blue liquid from his person, muttering, Demon Lord's essence is extremely rare. If I do not get the talent of the Dark Knight female lord, I will be screwed. Having made his decision, he downed the vial of blue liquid in one gulp. Afterwards, he muttered dazedly, there is no change at all. It feels like I just drank a mouthful of water. The effect lasts for a full 24 hours, so just wait for it to take effect. 1 hour later, Hakin Thon returned, her gaze stern as she looked at him. The Demon Lord's essence is very potent. After absorbing it, you will endure great pain. You can just use it, and to prevent any mishaps, I will watch over you. Van Thon looked at the essence in his hand and nodded, responding, yes, ma'am. He crushed the essence, and immediately his body felt like it was being incinerated. A terrifying power exploded inside him, making him scream internally, it hurt so much. Hakin Thon quickly supported him. Her voice was low but full of encouragement. Endure it. In this world, no source of power can be obtained easily. If you want to obtain the bloodline talent of a demon lord, then you must endure the pain. She held him tightly. The sofa beneath their feet trembled slightly, having sunk at some unknown point. She channeled energy into her hands, her voice softening. "I can only help you alleviate the pain a little. Otherwise, we might waste its medicinal power." Suddenly, the two female demon kin and Kathy heard the noise and rushed over. Kathy spoke up, her voice full of curiosity. Dean has Nico's side progressed smoothly. But before she could finish her words, she froze upon seeing the somewhat compromising position between Van Than and Hakin Than. Kathy stammered, her face blushing brightly. I am sorry for disturbing you." Van Than hurriedly tried to explain, his voice aggrieved. "Don't, this is just a misunderstanding." Hakin Than cut him off coldly. "Ignore everything and focus on absorbing." At this moment, inside Van Than's body, the S-Rank skill Superhuman Self-Heal suddenly activated. The pain gradually faded. He was surprised, thinking to himself, Superhuman Self-Heal just activated on its own. It does not hurt anymore. Hakin Than let go of him, her eyes showing a hint of bewilderment. "So it is already over," she thought to herself, full of doubt. "This cannot be right. My Demon Lord's essence could not be a fake, could it?" Van Than nodded, his voice certain. "I think it is done." He checked the system panel and saw his physical attack and magic damage had skyrocketed. He thought to himself, the attribute values increased so much in an instant. Hakin Than looked at him, a flash of astonishment in her eyes. The Dark Knight female lord has two types of bloodline talents. That's Blackwing pupils and Dark Knight. You have obtained one of the two. Yes, Van Than answered honestly. It seems I got them all. But their levels are not high. Hakin Than was stunned, her voice skeptical. You got both. No one has ever been able to absorb the Demon Lord's essence so perfectly. Both your talent and constitution have completely surpassed my expectations. Yes. Van Than scratched his head and laughed sheepishly. It was probably just luck. He thought to himself, maybe it was thanks to that lucky potion. Hakin Than continued, her voice gentle yet meaningful. As for the new talents being low level, that is also very normal, because the talents of the Dark Knight female lord are all evolutionary types. In their perfect state, they will be S+ rank. They will grow with you. Yes, Van Than nodded slightly, his voice sincere. Thank you, Dean. In his heart, the image of Hakin Than suddenly became different. Although she was always cold and kept her distance from everyone, she showed him special care. He resolved to himself that he must repay her well in the future. Hakin Than gave a faint smile. She said, from now on, just call me teacher. Do not get too happy too soon. From now on, I will test you once a month. If you do not pass, you will be punished. Van Than obediently replied, yes, teacher. Far, far away in a dark cave, a furious roar echoed, damn it all. A mere mortal dares to steal the power of the Dark Knight female lord. Damn it. Under the dim light of the great hall, a person in red walked forward, bowing respectfully before the Demon Lord. Supreme Master, please rest assured, I will definitely eliminate him and offer his heart to you. The Demon Lord's eyes were cold, but showed a hint of satisfaction as they slowly replied, good. If you succeed, I will reward you with this war god's essence. The next morning at the dormitory, Van Than was still being meticulously cared for with food and drinks laid out before him. He picked up a smooth plate and threw it forward forcefully, then frowned slightly and activated Pupil of Darkness. The plate suddenly stopped floating in midair. Van Than was stunned and mumbled, this plate can really float in midair. Pupil of Darkness is truly powerful. He recalled what Miss Ha said, when Pupil of Darkness reaches S rank, it can lock onto anything, surpassing most other S rank talents. But then he suddenly thought the Dark Knight female lord was so powerful, yet she was still defeated by Miss Ha. Just how formidable must she be? With his mind wandering, he stepped out onto the academy grounds for a leisurely stroll. As soon as they saw him, the two female demon kin from the other day began to whisper, look, it seems he wants to go to the advanced class. He could very well be our male master. Yes, Van Than overheard them, his face darkening. He quickly raised his hands to explain that yesterday was truly a misunderstanding. Miss Ha and I are not in that kind of relationship. The two female demon kin panicked and hurriedly ran away. The girl in black turned back and shouted, we definitely will not spread this misunderstanding. The girl in white chimed in with a tiny voice, right. We know, please do not silence us. Van Than stood there, dumbfounded, unable to explain further. He sighed internally. The effect of the luck potion is still active. This misunderstanding is bound to continue. Could this misunderstanding actually be a good thing? Thinking this, he decided to continue strolling around and enjoy the miraculous streak of luck. He had not gone far before he picked up a sparkling bag of gold coins. A little further on, He accidentally witnessed a gust of wind blowing up the skirts of two female students. He quickly told himself, see no evil, but his eyes could not help but glance over, arriving at a diner. The owner cheerfully announced, "Congratulations, you are the 10,000th customer of our restaurant. This meal is free." After experiencing a series of lucky events, Van Thon's heart was soaring. This luck potion is truly a bit terrifying. I have to figure out how to make the best use of it. He decided to complete the daily quest first. The first two rewards remain the same, but the third day's reward changes randomly. With the luck potion, I will definitely get the most suitable item. Thinking this, he chose a random enchanting material from the system. A notification popped up. Congratulations, you have received an enchanting material. Dragon's Fire Blood, the fiery blood of a high-level dragon carrying hatred and fury from when it was slain. After enchanting it, can increase the dragon-slaying intimidation effect of the equipment. Van Thon was excited, thinking to himself, a top-tier enchanting material indeed. To optimize the luck potion, I must enchant. After a long lecture in the hall, the teacher concluded his lesson in a deep, warm voice. The curriculum has ended. I hope you all can maintain the enthusiasm and energy of your high school years and strive to level up. After class, watching Van Thon hastily leave the classroom, Nico thought to herself, strange. Where is this guy going in such a hurry? She subconsciously followed him, her curiosity piqued. I feel like a stalker. No, I am just observing the enemy's situation. If I want to beat him, I first have to understand him. But then she paused and blushed, thinking the more I look at him, the more handsome he seems. In class, his seat is right next to mine. His looks and personality are clearly my ideal type. I could not even focus on the lecture because I was staring at him. Yes, following Van Thon for a long distance, Nico finally stopped in front of the hall. Enchanting. She spoke timidly. You are here to enchant, yes? Van Thon replied tersely. That is right. Nico thought to herself, I have started a conversation. I need to be more natural. Enchanting this activity is very exciting. It is one thought to heaven, one thought to hell. Once successful, the equipment can have its stars increased. Its attributes will skyrocket, but if it fails, the equipment's level might lose stars. It could even be destroyed. It all depends on luck. Yes, Van Thon walked to the counter, his voice resolute. I want to buy materials. The person at the counter pointed to the price list beside them, saying, okay, we have all kinds of materials here. But you can only use points to buy them. Yes, Van Thon looked it over and then chose this one, and also this one. I will buy them all. The person at the counter smiled. The materials you have chosen happen to be old stock, so we can give you a 30% discount. Your total is 3,100 points. Please use your student card to pay. Van Thon took out his card and swiped without hesitation. Nico, standing by the side, her eyes wide, thought to herself, this guy spent over 3,000 points without batting an eye. The person at the counter continued, May I ask, would you like to hire an enchanter? With an enchanter's help, the success rate will be much higher. Of course, the higher the enchanter's rank, the more expensive the fee. Yes, Van Thon shook his head, his voice firm, no need. I will do it myself. After buying the materials, he began to enchant. Each item floated up enveloped in a layer of mystical purple energy. In just a moment, the system announced enchantment successful. Demonic Formation Breaker. Quality Gold. Attributes. Strength plus 10. Intelligence plus 10. New attributes. Physical damage increased by 5%. Magic damage increased by 5%. Do you wish to continue enchanting? Yes, Van Thon chose to continue. A brilliant purple light flashed, attracting everyone's attention. The crowd buzzed. Oh my God, who is enchanting with such a bright light? Wait a minute, this purple light. Oh my God, someone enchanted to 7 stars and succeeded. The system continued to announce enchantment successful. Demonic Formation Breaker, Gold Quality, 7 stars. Attribute Strength plus 10 Intelligence plus 10. New attribute Physical damage increased by 25%. Magic damage increased by 25%. Do you wish to continue enchanting? Nico, standing behind, couldn't hide her astonishment. He didn't use any techniques, just threw in the materials and let the enchantment table work automatically, and it still succeeded. The surrounding crowd gathered around Van Thon, whispering, Damn, I can't believe it. From 6 stars to 7 stars, the success rate is only 5%. He's truly a chosen one. Who is this guy? He looks so unfamiliar. Could he be a first-year student? So reckless, haha. I wonder if he dares to go for 8 stars. Yes, Nico gently advised in a worried tone, don't go any further. From 7 stars to 8 stars, the success rate is only 1%. Besides, the attributes of a 7-star are already very strong, Nico thought to herself. This guy isn't planning to try again, is he? Amidst the gossip, Van Thon just softly said, "Continue enchanting." Nico's eyes widened, her mouth agape, thinking to herself, if he succeeds. The weapon's attributes will double and it will gain a new special attribute, but the rate is too low. Failure means it shatters into pieces. A man in a stained shirt standing nearby spoke up, his voice full of doubt. If he succeeds, his weapon will be the strongest gold weapon in the Academy's history. I don't believe he can be that lucky. Another person shouted, "Blow up, blow up, blow up." He succeeded. A system notification rang out, "Enchantment successful. Demonic formation breaker, gold quality. Attribute strength +10, intelligence +10. New attribute physical damage increased by 45%, magic damage increased by 45%. Special attribute dragon slaying dread. The roar of the fiery dragon blood. When the target is of the dragon race or a similar species, all of the opponent's attributes are reduced by 15%. Dragon slaying. When the target is of the dragon race or a similar species, damage is increased by 35%. Nico was stunned, muttering, "Are these the attributes of a gold weapon? Even a normal diamond-grade weapon can hardly compare. No techniques, just a straight upgrade path. This luck is too terrifying." Van Thon held the weapon, admiring it with satisfaction, and muttered, "Not bad. The high-level attributes are very handy. It wasn't a waste of my materials. There's nothing else to do for now, so I'll just head back." Suddenly, a guy rushed over with an arrogant tone. "Wait a minute, what a lucky dog. Kid, sell your weapon to me. I'll offer 30% above the market price." "Yes," Van Thon sneered, his voice cold. "And what if I don't want to sell?" The atmosphere immediately tensed up. The surrounding crowd whispered, "Hey, this kid can't be a freshman. He dares to defy Lam Loy." Brother Loy is hot-tempered and a member of the Student Council's Dragon Bloodline Division, although the Academy forbids fighting outside the arena. But what good are those rules? Offending Brother Loy is not a wise choice. Nico chuckled to herself, thinking, ha, these seniors must not have watched the freshman tournament. This year, they don't know Van Thon's methods. Even all of them together wouldn't be his match. Lam Loy looked at Van Thon, his voice full of arrogance. "Kid, name your price. If we make a deal, you'll have the right to hang out with me. The strongest gold weapon in the Academy's history, only I am worthy of owning it." Van Thon slammed the weapon on the ground. His gaze was as sharp as a challenge. Is that so? At the same time, he activated the weapon's dread attribute. Lam Loy's eyes widened. A sense of unease suddenly welled up in his heart. What is that weapon? He thought to himself, why do I feel such terror in my heart? It's impossible. I carry the blood of the Dragon Clan. I cannot feel fear. Van Thon tightly gripped the weapon, his icy gaze sweeping over Lam Loy, his voice low but full of pressure. "Are you saying I am not worthy of possessing this weapon? If I don't sell, we become enemies?" Lam Loy trembled, stammering in fear. You. He could clearly feel the dragon blood in his body, cowering. The closer he got to Van, then the more his fear surged. He thought to himself, what is happening? Lam Loy's limbs went weak. He collapsed to the ground, stammering, No, that's not it. You don't come over here. The Academy strictly forbids public duels. You can't just fight. Violence is wrong. We must be civilized. That's the right way. The group that was just flattering Lam Loy now stared wide-eyed and quickly changed their tune. Brother Loy, Van Thon walked past Lam Loy, his voice indifferent, whatever you say. "I don't have time for this." He mentally calculated the time remaining on his luck potion. "I have to make full use of it." Nico hurriedly ran after him, calling out, "Hey, wait for me." The crowd behind watched Van Thon's retreating back, buzzing with discussion. Just one confrontation made Lam Loy so scared he had to cite school rules to protect himself. "Where on earth did that kid come from?" Nico asked curiously as she ran. "Hey, tell me quickly. How did you do that? Enchanting an 8-star weapon in one go. Could it be that today is your lucky day?" Van Thon answered bluntly in a concise tone. "That's right. We'll talk about that later. I'm running out of time." The two of them headed towards the Academy library. In front of a bookshelf filled with ancient books, Nico stared blankly at Van Thon. "No way you're running out of time, and you come to the library to read." Van Thon thought to himself, according to the admission conditions, I'm free to look up skill books here. But finding a suitable skill in this vast sea of books is a real challenge. Today I have the luck potion. Even if I choose randomly, I'll find the best one. Thinking this, he immediately spotted 2 precious books. He opened the blue one and muttered, even though I've learned the basic socketing skill. But the resources in high school were limited. Socketing and tracking skills only appear in university. The book in his hand was a B+ grade tracking skill, which helps to quickly follow a target through the traces it leaves behind. After reading it, he switched to the red book which recorded the shadow flow assassination skill far superior to ordinary assassin skills. It could be considered a high-tier version. There was also the extremely practical basic presence concealment skill. He thought to himself, Shadow Flow Assassination and Thon Tian's Blood Rush have similarities. They are excellent skills. Phantom Theft is not bad either. It can disarm an opponent's weapon and even remove a mage's shield. After learning the skills, Van Thon told himself this part is done. What's the next goal? Although Nico didn't quite understand, she still followed him excitedly to a mount shop. The owner, a bald old man, greeted them warmly. You're here to choose a mount, aren't you? Flying in the sky, swimming in the water, running on the ground, we have them all here. Of course you can only buy them with academic credits. Van Thon pointed to the left, his voice decisive. I want to buy that one. He calculated mentally from the moment he walked in that beast had been staring at him, and he had also noticed it the most. With his current luck choosing, it definitely won't be a mistake. Nico asked in surprise, why did you choose the weakest one? It looks like it's about to faint. Yes, the owner chimed in. That's right. No one has bought it for 3 months. We were planning to get rid of it. If you buy it, I'll only charge you for the food 100 academic credits. Van Thon didn't hesitate. I'll take it. He threw a great tonic potion worth over 1,800 academic credits into the pen. The beast took it and drank it all in one gulp. Its body immediately became strong and its feathers vibrant. Nico's eyes widened in amazement. How did you figure that out? Yes, Van Thon smiled lightly. It was just luck. The owner screamed internally, damn it, how did I not notice before I've taken a huge loss this time? Van Thon walked closer and petted the griffin. From now on, you'll be my support. You look so silly, so I'll just call you Little Han. Nico thought to herself, his taste in names is really strange. It's a griffin, you know. After the transaction, Van Thon and Nico rode Little Han back. He calculated that there wasn't much time left on the luck potion. They had to act fast. They arrived at the Summoned Beast training base. At the plant nursery of Jiangnan University, a blond young man asked warmly, May I ask what quality of summoned beast you are looking for? From iron to diamond, we have them all. Yes, Van Thon replied. Let me take a look first. He thought to himself, the summoned beast base only has the plant nursery left, and my summoning only has the basic water element. The low limit isn't strong enough at this stage. I need a summoned beast with high growth potential, but not too high quality since I'm not a dedicated summoner. Suddenly, a faint cry rang out, attracting his attention. Behind him, a small blue-haired summoned beast was crying and reaching its hands out towards him. Van Thon wondered, a thorn flower beast. Even though it only has a small head, it looks very lively. The other thorn flower beasts are all diamond quality. Why is this one only gold medal rank? The blond man explained that its innate aptitude was poor. Its development was abnormal and it was a glutton. Raising it would require good food, making its value low. Nico chimed in. That's right. Raising it is very time-consuming. You should buy a different higher-grade one that's more practical. Van Thon pondered for a moment, then said decisively, No need, I'll buy it. He figured he wasn't a summoner. He didn't have high-level contracting skills. This gold medal thornflower beast was just right for him to form a contract with, and its potential limit was high. He looked at the blond man and continued, I'll buy this plant. I'll take the pot too. Add 3 portions of food for it. The blond man checked the system panel and replied, The total is 3,800 academy points. With that, Van Thon and Nico left. Night had already fallen. Nico hesitated before speaking up. Van Thon, can we discuss something? Van Thon glanced at her teasingly. I was still wondering how long you planned on being a stalker. Nico huffed. Who's the stalker, huh? Van Thon cut her off. What is it? Nico said shyly. It's just, could I borrow 1,500 academic credits? In the freshman tournament, you won all of my credits. Van Thon handed over his student card without hesitation. Okay, I'll transfer it to you through the student card. As Nico looked at the number on the card, her jaw dropped. This is insane. To still have over 8,000 academic credits left. He's living like a king. Just how many people did this guy beat? Van Thon walked ahead, not forgetting to call back. It's late. I'm heading back to the dorm first. You take your time. Nico called after him. Thank you. I'll definitely pay you back within half a month. She thought to herself, this guy seems cold on the outside, but he's actually not bad. 3 months later in the vice principal's office. Diepen Puk, dean of the War Academy, asked instructor Lee, The first 3 months of the semester have already passed. How have the first-year students been doing recently? Miss Lee replied in a steady voice. It's the same as in previous years. They are all very independent. After all, they are the top students from everywhere and no one is convinced by anyone else. Deepanpuk laughed, his eyes showing satisfaction. Competition is a good thing. How is Van Thon doing? Miss Lee recounted Van Thon is very hardworking. He has passed the courses for every single class, from daggers to sniper rifles, all with excellent scores. But he is also the most solitary one. Besides occasional contact with Nico, he basically doesn't interact with any other students. He's a complete lone wolf. Deepanpuk sighed deeply. This situation also exists in the other top academies. Elite students often prefer to act alone, but on the battlefield, not knowing how to coordinate can easily get you killed. Miss Lee nodded in agreement. Yes, that's why the Huyen Long Nation organizes an exchange competition every year, for freshmen across the nation aimed at strengthening their coordination. Deepanpuk continued. By tradition, the participating team is formed from first-year students, and this year is no exception. Go and call the top 20 freshmen for me. At the archery training ground, a lively atmosphere filled the air as students gathered for an examination. On the field, the match between Van Thon and Nico was drawing everyone's attention. The instructor Katya announced loudly, "The archery test begins." Nico acted first, nimbly unleashing her skill, nature's arrow sending 3 arrows flying out at once. Van Thon calmly responded, executing waning bow art, a basic archer skill, while also combining it with a B-rank arrow skill, precise and sharp. Nico hastily retreated, hiding behind an ancient tree, her heart pounding. His attack is too fast at that very moment. Van Thon's arrow roared as it flew, embedding itself deep into the tree trunk. The terrifying power made the entire ancient tree, hundreds of years old, tremble as if it could be pierced through. Nico trembled and stammered, "I lose." Around them, the students buzzed with discussion, marveling at Van Thon's talent. As expected of Brother Van, he defeated Nico using only a basic archer skill. They hadn't forgotten that Nico, a Silver Moon elf, was skilled in both swordsmanship and archery. Rumor had it that Nico always ranked first in courses for many other classes. From swordsmanship to sniping, he was proficient in everything, a fact few people noticed. Nico stepped out from behind the tree, rubbing her head in frustration. "That guy, you're truly unbelievable." She turned to Van Thon, her voice tinged with frustration. "When we first started sparring in archery, I thought you were an easy-to-bully newbie. Who knew that after just 3 months I can't do anything to you? So annoying." Van Thon smirked, his reply sharp. "While learning archery, we bet lunch on every match. As of yesterday, I've treated you to lunch for 3 straight months. Are you satisfied yet? Today it's your turn to treat, isn't it?" Nico scoffed, feigning arrogance. Plenty of boys want to treat me to a meal. I'm giving you the chance, and you're still not satisfied." Just then, Instructor Katya walked over and called out Van Thon Nico. "Come to the training office immediately. Principal Diep needs to see you." Both of them replied in unison, "Yes, ma'am." A thought crossed Van Thon's mind. Deepanpuk was not only the principal of the War Academy, but also the vice principal of the Jiangnam Training Department. The atmosphere turned solemn as many elite students had already gathered. A blonde-haired person whispered to a friend next to them, "Since the freshman competition, the top 20 have rarely gathered like this. What do you think Principal Diep called us here for?" The other person replied with certainty, "It must be for the National Freshman Exchange Tournament. It's held every year, and they need to select a lot of people for the team." Van Thon, standing not far away, overheard and asked an exchange tournament. Nico shrugged and shook her head in exasperation. "You really don't know anything, do you? You're too much of a lone wolf. You should make some more friends. Otherwise, you'll be completely in the dark about everything," she continued. Instructor Katya mentioned it before. The Freshman Exchange Tournament is a major national event held annually with all universities participating. In previous years, the competition was divided into 2 events, individual and team. The results determine the national rankings of the universities. The top 7 universities are all selected from this competition. Nico paused, then added, "Our Jiangnam University has been the champion for 3 consecutive years, but I heard they're adding a survival round this year. The format is still unclear." Van Thon mused, his gaze shifting away, but he still replied to Nico, "Is that so?" He silently opened his system panel and information about the competition immediately appeared. "Checking! The National Freshman Exchange Tournament is about to begin. New achievement mission, participate and win the championship. Reward 1 S-Rank skill 50 attribute points, and 50 skill points." Van Thon thought to himself, "As expected, another mission has arrived. It seems I have no choice but to participate." At this moment, Deepanpuk walked in and the atmosphere immediately quieted down. The students whispered, "The principal is here. Everyone be quiet." He spoke in a solemn voice. It seems everyone has already guessed today's reason. This year's freshman exchange tournament will be hosted by Tanvan University. I will personally lead you to participate as the vice principal. Nico raised her hand with a question. Do all 20 of us here have to participate? The team competition only needs 7 people, right? Diepan Puk explained. This year there's an added survival round that requires 20 participants. You will be randomly placed in a large area to search for resources and eliminate monsters to accumulate points. The team's total score will determine the rankings, but be aware the survival round is very harsh. Be careful of the monsters and also the opponents from other academies. The students below stirred. One person held their head and lamented, why did they suddenly add another round? Scoring points is going to be harder now. Another person added, Jiangnam University has been champion for 3 years in a row. If we don't keep the top spot this year, we'll definitely be mocked. Imagine the second-year students. And third-year students laughing at us gives me the creeps. But then they cheered up. Luckily, we have Brother Van for the individual competition. He will definitely take first place. Diepan Puk continued. As for the captain for this trip, Van Than will take the role. It's customary for the top-ranking freshman to be the captain. Does anyone have any objections? The students unanimously supported him. With Brother Vaughn as captain, who would dare to object, that's right, we have to scare the other schools, silly, he added. The individual competition only allows 3 registrants. Van Than, Than Tai, Nien, and Nico. As for the team competition, it needs 7 people. Diepan Puk paused deep in thought. Van Than is a difficult problem. He usually acts alone. I don't know if he can lead well. But his jobless class is too special. It's hard to determine if he's strong in melee range combat control or support. How can he coordinate with teammates? He muttered, Van Than is explosive in close combat, but Nico Than, Tai Nien, and Lam Hu Huck are also top-tier melee fighters. We can't have the whole team be melee fighters and get overwhelmed. Van Than suddenly raised his hand. Principal, regarding the team competition, I have a suggestion. Can I choose the team members myself? Diepan Puk nodded. That's fine. After all, you know yourself best. After careful consideration, Van Than submitted the list of team members to Miss Lee, who then passed it to Diepan Puk. Miss Lee said Principal Van Than has finished selecting his team. This is the list. The list includes Van Than Jobless Rank 1, Van Tai Nien Blood Knight Rank 2, Nico Elf Swordsman Rank 3, Diep Than Lin Taoist. Rank 4, Lam Hu Huck Mage Rank 5, Ton Kong Summoner Rank 7, Quoc Phi Than Shadow Assassin Rank 9. After reading it, Diepan Puk angrily slammed the list on the table. What kind of team is this? It's an unbearable mess. Besides Van Than, there are 3 melee fighters, 1 Taoist, 1 Summoner, and 1 Assassin. This looks more like a team of chefs than a competition team. They might be fine fighting individually, but in terms of strategy, it's garbage. He sighed. Jiangnam University won the championship 3 times thanks to the 2-2-1-2 formation. 2 warriors in the front, 2 mages for area damage, 1 healer for support, and 2 flexible classes for control and harassment. Now this team is all sharp blades and a few long-range bombs, but not a single mage. How are they supposed to fight? Miss Lee spoke up. Principal, we don't fully understand the jobless class. Maybe Van Than has his own way. Or should we just void this list? Diepan Puk shook his head. No, let's just see how it works out. Go and arrange for an instructor. In the training hall, news of Van Than's team composition spread, causing an uproar among the students. This team is too weird, it's like a joke. Why not use the 2-2-1-2 formation like before? Its combat effectiveness has been proven for years. Nico questioned Van Than. The 2-2-1-2 formation is the most stable choice. The school has used it for years, and it's still effective. What were you thinking choosing this lineup? Van Than replied coldly, I have my own considerations. Suddenly, a booming voice rang out. What is this? This lineup can actually compete. How can you fight without a mage? The speaker was Ngui Vu, the instructor who once helped the school win the team championship. He said sternly, your lineup is terrible, severely lacking in mage firepower. You must add Tiet Hoan. He is the strongest burst mage among the freshmen, and his firepower is the perfect addition. Lam Hu Hook pointed at Tiet Hoan in anger. Damn, it isn't he the one who cheated in the freshman competition. We knocked him down from rank 2 to rank 26, and now he wants to parachute into our team. The other students spoke up in unison, their voices filled with indignation. That's right, it's Tiet Hoan pulling strings again this time. I heard his family is very wealthy. They criticized him, saying, speak up. How much did they pay you, huh? At this moment, Van Than finally spoke, his voice calm yet cold. What if I say we don't need him? Nguivu sneered and retorted harshly. You don't need him. Let me remind you one more time, I'm the instructor and I have the right to assign positions to any of you. If I say Tiet Hoan is on the team, he is on the team. The students erupted in protest, their voices full of frustration. Great a bootlicker. We shed blood, sweat, and tears to earn our qualifications. On what grounds does a loser get to squeeze in? Brother Van's magic is already strong enough, we don't need him. We're fine without a mage like that. Tiet Huan furiously slammed his scepter on the ground and shouted his defense. During the freshman competition, I only dropped in rank because I wasn't in good condition and was challenged continuously. How dare you doubt my abilities? I suppose getting into the top 10 is as easy as pie for you all, is it? Nico marveled, his eyes glued to the sparkling scepter. That scepter is at least diamond grade. Lam Hu Huck chimed in sarcastically. Rumor has it the Tiet family is one of the 8 great families of Tien Nam. Truly, the rumors are true. A diamond scepter is something a normal student couldn't even dream of. Ngivu, looking pleased with himself, commanded loudly immediately remove a warrior from the team. Make room for Tiet Huan. He has 2 A-rank magic talents and is a rare burst mage. On what grounds can he not join? Van Tan answered coldly. On the grounds that he has a corrupt character and likes to scheme. If you disagree, then form a team and have a match with me. If you win, you can do as you please. If you lose, get the hell out. Ngui Vu burst into arrogant laughter. You really want to fight the previous champion team? What an arrogant little brat. He nodded and accepted. Haha, I accept this match. We'll meet at the arena in 3 hours. News of the duel spread like wildfire and students started whispering. Did you hear Brother Van's team is fighting a team of sophomores? I think their opponents include members from the last championship team. Let's hurry to the arena to watch. When it was time for the match, the stands were lively. The audience was split into 2 factions, cheering loudly. One side chanted, "Go Brother Van, teach those arrogant second years a lesson." The other faction roared, "Ngivu, teach those freshmen a lesson." How dare a classless person lead a team? A student recognized that Tien Due Thong, the summoner from the last tournament, was on Ngui Vu's team. He's pulling in sophomores for backup. Does he have no shame? Tien Due Thong whispered sheepishly to Ngui Vu. See, I knew people would curse me out. Ngui Vu sneered back, the rules just say to form a team. It doesn't say you can't invite sophomores. Just play well, the rewards for winning will be substantial. He thought to himself, Tiet Huan's older brother handed his little brother to me. I must win no matter what. I can't lose face for the Tiet family. As long as I latch onto them, my future is secure. Diep Tan Lin turned to Van Tan and asked worriedly, Brother Van, are you sure we don't need to prepare any tactics? Ton Kong also added hesitantly, that's right. Our opponents have 2 members from the previous championship team. I'm a bit worried. Lu Thu Tan added they use a 2-2-1 formation and their 2-2 front line is very hard to break. Than Tai Nien said confidently. I can take the damage and break in with my blood shield, but the details are up to you to command Van Tan. Van Tan replied calmly, we don't need a plan and we don't need a commander. Once the fight begins, everyone just improvise as you go. Nico laughed boisterously, his morale high. What's there to fear? Our team has at least 4 provincial champions. We're strong enough to crush them. Lam Hu Huck burst out laughing. We're a team. Trust in Brother Vaughn. We'll go wild together if we win, and we'll shoulder the loss together if we lose. The female referee announced the match begin, everyone. She thought to herself, I didn't expect a challenge match, but this is fine. It's an opportunity to see the true strength of Van Thon's team. If they win, Headmaster Deep will approve his lineup. Ngui Vu commanded his teammates, 2 frontliners hold your positions as tanks, priest, focus on healing. While their opponents prepared carefully, Van Thon's team just charged straight ahead like a tempest. Ngui Vu sneered to himself, what a bunch of reckless fools rushing in like that. Their rear formation will be isolated. There's no chance they can break our priest-supported tank line. Diep Tan Lin chased after them, panting, you guys slow down a little. I can't keep up. Let me put the Thunder Rain talisman buff on everyone first. Ngui Vu thought smugly I was actually worried about that Taoist. But with this reckless charge, she won't be able to contribute at all. A Taoist may be stronger than a priest with control and support abilities, but she's useless now. He ordered Tiet Huan, focus your energy on your burst magic. Other mages use minor spells to harass their tempo. Tien Due Thong, once they're within 10 meters, summon monsters and surround them. He thought to himself, 4 of them dare to rush us. We will make sure none of you return.